everybody? Welcome to Middays with Marks on 97.5 The Fanatic. Good morning to the FM listeners on the good old-fashioned transistor radio, 97.5 FM. The Fanatic app, which you can tell Alexa to listen at home, or you can get the Fanatic app and listen to it. Or if you're watching live on YouTube. Good morning to our YouTube watchers, our chatters. You can watch live every day, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the YouTube channel of 97.5 The Fanatic. Make sure you subscribe, leave comments, like, all those good things, and you can watch on demand whenever you want to. We say good morning. In for Ray Dunn is the Worm, Sean Rodman. What's up, Worm?
Good morning. What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Well, I'll let you know in 4 hours.
All right.
All right?
Or in a few minutes.
Because I need to. I'm one of these people, as we say good morning to Ray Dunn, in for Sean Brace. Hi, Ray.
Hey, good morning, Johnny.
I am very much somebody that that doesn't leave the office at the office. That if I have a bad show and I feel like I didn't do a good job, it stays with me until the next day. And I felt like we had a good show yesterday.
I thought it was a great show yesterday.
So I feel good today. But, Ray, now you got to step it up, brother, because you're in the big number 2 Sean Brace chair.
There's a lot I have to do today. I don't know if I have to go to bat for Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure if I have to demand that Joel Embiid gets a Waymo out of town. There's a lot that I feel like I have to fill for Sean Brace's energy on top of just bringing that energy.
Yes. Yes, bring the
Where
energy.
is he today, by the way? Do we know?
He's being annoying on text message because he sent like 10 text messages. It's like producing the show.
Oh, yeah. That's new. That's new. Have you checked our group chat?
So I believe that I think his mom watches Lane on certain days, and she had something going on and she couldn't.
Gotcha.
So faced with leaving the child in a cage at home, bringing him in here, or having to take off the day.
I think Lane would make a great third mic.
Listen, you're allowed to take off the day. I wouldn't advise caging your children at home. And
That
going
makes
to work.
sense.
But yeah, so I think that's where he is today. He'll be back tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about. So Ray, on Friday, and I don't want to misquote Andrew, because he was very sensitive about the conversation that I saw on social media, but he was essentially saying that, and Rodman, you already corrected me this morning when we were talking about it, that Jalen Hurts, that he's a question mark heading into 2026.
Yeah, he's saying that if it's one of the storylines he's looking for, he's watching. It's the top storyline that he's watching this year, as well as his contract situation, and he believes he won't get a contract situation. He won't be playing on the same contract next year, but won't get one before the start of this year.
Well, yeah, I agree with him. I agree with what he's saying. And this isn't a rip of Jalen Hurts. Everybody just, by the way, everybody stop being so sensitive, okay? A couple different things can be true. Jalen Hurts can be an MVP Super Bowl winning quarterback that plays his best games in the biggest spots. Right? Wouldn't we want that out of our quarterback?
Yes.
One of my chief complaints of Donovan McNabb is in the biggest games, he came up small, thrown up in the Super Bowl, playing poorly in some other games. But to get to those big,
I'm embarrassed.
To get to those big games, you have to win other big games too. So Donovan was, he's his number retired by the Eagles. Obviously, he was at least a very good quarterback. But Jalen, for the Super Bowl MVP and for the other Super Bowl and for all the success he's had, 5 for 5 with playoffs, I'm sorry, I have eyes. And the Eagles' passing offense is a question mark going into 2026. Now, do you believe that Jalen Hurts can answer the bell and the passing offense can be good this year? See, I actually believe that. So for everybody that's going to get pissed and hear what they want to say and say, oh, here we go again, here's the Jalen Hurts talk. No, it's not that. It's taking an honest and fair look at the situation. So obviously we have to have Jalen Hurts involved in the conversation. But is the passing offense of the Eagles the number one question mark heading into the 2026 season? And I'll ask you, Ray, because you're not Club Jalen, but I'll ask you, is the passing offense for the Eagles heading into 2026, headlined by Jalen Hurts, is it a question mark?
Can I take up for Jalen, though, because I'm sitting in this chair? It absolutely is the top question, but if we're just making this a Jalen issue, I think we're ignoring some of the other issues with this passing game.
Yeah.
You know, they just traded wide receiver 1, right? You know, the guy over the last 4 years, top 5 in yards. I know he's upset about the fact the last 2 seasons.
What's his name again?
We didn't talk about him.
A.J. Brown.
AJ, that's what it was.
It was written down.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for filling that one for me. A.J. Brown, he's gone. And you know, Sean Mannion comes in here. You know what Sean Mannion had to experience the last couple of years at Green Bay? a crop of wide receivers that he wasn't sure who was his number one. Now, we're sure who number one is with Devontae Smith, but when you look at everybody else in terms of number two, Dontavian Wicks comes with them. And you know what's great about that? He's got experience with him. You know what's bad about that? He's got experience with him to the point that the team he had him with was ready to move off of him. Wicks, I don't know, is he number two? Mekhi Lemon, let's crown him. Let's crown him. I get it. First-round pick, excited about him, but I don't know what he is yet. And is he going to be this year one in a championship window? I remember that wide receiver crop last year. All the rookies that came out, it's like, wow, what is this going to be? By the end of the season, they were talking about the quarterback in New Orleans as the rookie of the year, as the offensive rookie of the year. You want to know why? Because all those wide receivers fell off by the end of the season. So am I going to just assume that Mekhi Lemon's going to be something that steps up and he's a Pro Bowler? He's a 1,000-yard receiver right off the rip? You know, they got one right with Devontae drafting him, but I say all the time, Devontae's a revelation in my life because I watched the Eagles draft a wide receiver, and it worked out.
It worked, yeah.
That doesn't happen too often. But, hey, I can still be positive about Lemon and still have question marks. Wicks, I got question marks about him. Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, why were they available? I mean, you start going down this path, it's like, all right, that number two receiver spot is a question mark. And we're going to talk to Jeff Mosher today at 1 o'clock, and this thing has been rattling in my brain since he sent it to us last week. He said to us, if it's 150 target share for Devontae Smith this year, this offense didn't run the right way. I know we all have the Puka Nacua idea of like, oh, what could he be in this offense? Could he be this, 120 catch guy, 115 catch guy? If the idea isn't for him to have 150 targets, and the idea isn't that he's going to be this receiver with like 1,800 yards for this offense to work its best, it means we need that other crop to be good. So on top of that, while we talk about the receivers, we sent 2 offensive linemen to Columbia. You remember that, right?
That's a good point.
We sent 2 offensive. They need to protect the quarterback. We got an older Lane Johnson. We got 2 offensive linemen returning from Columbia. And, oh, by the way, on top of that, we still have the question mark of where exactly the health of that entire group is. So all that combined, yeah, I have questions about Jalen. But I think because Jalen's the headliner, you want to know about Paul McCartney and John Lennon when you're talking about the Beatles. You're not talking so much about what Ringo Starr's doing back there. But Ringo Starr's still playing the damn drums and helping you out. I need to know what's up with Ringo right now, too.
That's why people call Ray an old soul. He's giving Beatles references when it comes to the Eagles.
I have to relate to the audience at some point.
How about that? What audience? My parents?
Yeah, exactly.
610-632-0975. So that's an interesting way to take, because I didn't want to we didn't want to come out today and try to make this specifically about Hurts. And you had said this. When I said, is Jalen Hurts coming into the season, what Andrew said, is Jalen Hurts a major question mark? And he was talking about the storylines of contracts and the whole picture of it. And your take is, forget about Jalen Hurts for a second. Jalen Hurts, you're not winning 12 games if your wide receivers aren't producing, if your offensive line isn't good, if you can't run the football again. And
oh, by the way, the play caller hasn't called plays before. That's another question mark. I understand. I haven't put it in my bio yet. I'm going to be a Mannion guy. I'm really excited about him.
You'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah. He's a young superstar. We have to, promote our youth to really succeed in this day and age. But come on. He hasn't called plays before. Like, that's another question mark. When you look at this whole thing, and I'm not trying to paint the picture of like, hey, this is a 7-10 season. This team's doomed. I think we played the cut last week about the standard being competing for Super Bowls. If that's the standard, then we need everyone up to that standard. And these are question marks that legitimately could thwart you from winning a Super Bowl.
So the question is, and I agree with you, because the Eagles are going to win 11 or 12 games, and they're going to be right there with the other top teams in the NFC. I totally agree with that. But there has to be it's like with the Action News. There's always the big story on Action News. Jim Gardner didn't come on and say, well, there's not a lot going on tonight, so let's just go to Cecily with weather. Now, they go to Cecily with weather, but there always has to be the big story on Action News.
Right.
So if there has to be the biggest question mark heading into the season, Sean Rodman, what's the biggest question mark on the team?
Biggest question mark, it's definitely the passing offense. That was the biggest question mark last year. I mean, what other question mark is there? We're going to nitpick the defense and the safeties. No, it's what the biggest issue was last year.
The biggest question mark going into the season, because they're not going to win without it, is Saquon Barkley in the running game. Jalen Hurts isn't throwing the ball 45 times a game. Jalen Hurts is never gonna be where you want him throwing the ball more than you're running the ball. You want a 50-50 balance, and you don't even want a 50-50 balance. Jalen's throwing the ball 25 times. You're running the ball as a team 30 times. That's great. You need to be able to run the ball. They couldn't do it last year. It's unbelievable that they won 11 games because their offensive line was bad. Mm-hmm. They couldn't pass protect. and they couldn't run block because everybody was banged up from the year before. The running game is actually the key to the season. The passing offense isn't the biggest question mark. It's the running offense, Ray.
Are you telling me there's a world in which you think the running offense with Saquon Barkley Saquon goes for less than 1,100, which he did last season?
No, but they needed 2,000 yards to win a Super Bowl in 2024.
Correct, but to get to 11 wins where we were all disappointed, he needed 1,100 yards.
By the way, for all you Jalen Hurts truthers out there that want to be like, I can't believe you're even discussing Jalen Hurts. How did you win the Super Bowl in 2024? Saquon Barkley rushed for 2,000 yards. You had a young, explosive, peaking at the right time defense that was carrying you down the stretch, and they dominated in the Super Bowl. And you had the tush-push. Your offense was the tush-push offense. And Jalen did a little bit of running and did a little bit of everything. You don't run anymore. You don't do the tush-push anymore. And you couldn't run the ball last year. That's not a bigger question mark?
There it is. The true Sirianni guy coming out in you.
Sirianni guy in the bio. All right, text line. Davis Honda text line. 610-632-0975. And you can send the voice memos as well. Leave your name and location and occupation if you can. 610-632-0975. The biggest question mark heading into 2026 is the passing offense. Yes or no? Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Intelligent and honest
They said I was a diva.
Thank you, 97.5.
I would say no.
I'm the smartest person in the world.
Are you kidding me? You piss me off.
I guess we only find out if he becomes elite or he continues to be good.
I don't know. I don't really be on the internet.
Well, welcome back into Middays Marks here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Ray Dunn hanging out with you, Johnny Marks, Sean Robin. Is the passing offense the biggest question mark for this team going into the 2026 season, Johnny Marks? It's the rushing offense? Saquon Barkley? That's the headline of the clip. I need Dutzy to make that clip for us. John Marks says Saquon Barkley is the biggest question mark going into 2026.
Well, yeah, I mean, the running offense is. Was the running offense good last year?
No. Was the offense good last year?
No, but so was the passing offense a problem in 2024?
Yeah.
Did they win the Super Bowl?
They did.
They won the Super Bowl based on defense, running the football, and
Correct.
Jalen intangibles, played great in big games or whatever. Was the running offense good last year?
No.
It wasn't. So the running offense wasn't good last year, and then look what happened. They still somehow won 11 games, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, it's amazing they were able to figure that out.
But so look at the common denominator. When they can't run the ball effectively, then they have to rely on the passing offense, which is an issue, right, to do that. But the secret and the sauce is they have to be able to run the ball. And they don't have the tush push anymore either, unless they somehow recreate the magic they did a couple years ago.
It's in Madden, though, now. You can play it in Madden.
Can you really?
I saw it promoted. I don't know if you saw that, Robin. I saw that promoted. I think that's a violation if you do that, by the way. Because there's going to be some sort of gameplay where I can't imagine you're stopping the tush push on a video game, considering it's tough enough to do it in real life. I imagine it's going to be like you get like a yard or two every time. Like, don't be that guy.
Do you want to go back to the tush push? Do you want that back?
Yeah,
You do.
I do. You can't overly rely on it. Like, I can't
It
have...
can't be your offense.
Right,
like
it can't be your whole offense, but I liked how dominant it was. I enjoyed that feeling of the entire country rolling its eyes.
So mad.
Yeah, it was great. You know what? They didn't talk about this offseason. Tush push.
Tush push,
This
not
didn't work
once.
for the Eagles.
No.
Meanwhile, Josh Allen went for 11 yards in a Bills playoff game.
Biggest
and
play of
everyone's
the
like,
game.
oh, yeah, that's cool. I don't care. Oh, yeah, tush push is fine.
It was
and
always
Sean McDermott was against it.
It was always a double standard.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's the Eagles. And I understand it. We're annoying.
But I guess to get to the point here with the rushing offense for you, I get what you're saying about it being the thing that changed from 2024 to 2025. But when we look at the big picture of what we're looking to get out of this season, and winning is obviously always the big thing, and winning it all is always the big thing, you got a quarterback that we've talked a lot of times about the prove-it year. The question mark for me is not just about winning this season, it's about what the future of this organization looks like. And if the passing offense is not better this year, then Lord help me, we're going to be talking next April about what exactly their future looks like at that position, which makes it a much bigger question mark to me.
All right, Davis on the text line, 610-632-0975. Get your voice memos in. 610-632-0975. That is also the phone number, because this is, I'd like to believe this is talk radio, which means we need people to talk to us.
Correct.
Not just, this isn't sports radio, it's sports talk. Scott in Souderton wants to talk. Scott, what's up? Good morning.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, the rushing game is crucial because it even hurts, right? Like when he was running the ball, like if you look at his carries, they have gone down considerably. Well, last year considerably. I think he had 50 less attempts, something like that. But since 2022, it's gone down, and that just adds an element to our offense over the years that. And I think we all know Jalen Hurts is not a pocket passer. I mean, I was always frustrated with him because it seems like the ball, he doesn't zip the ball in there to his receivers. And then when you lose an A.J. Brown, and if that running game isn't performing, defenses are just going to zero in on him. If he's not running, I mean, that definitely, to me, sounds like trouble because guys who run, quarterbacks, their careers come to a halt pretty quickly because
why he's not doing
a lot
it?
of them are subpar passers.
Well, I mean, Scott, if you remember, he wasn't hurt last year. He wasn't hurt in 2024, but the years before that, when he was running more, what happened? He was banged up. He was missing games. So at some point, as a quarterback, you have to evolve past the whole running stuff. He's not a dynamic runner like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a dynamic player, a dynamic runner. That was never Jalen. Here's what I would say about him running. Third downs. Run on third downs. Not design runs, scrambles on third downs to pick up first downs. I don't need design runs anymore. He needs to evolve more as a passing quarterback. That's what I need to see this year.
Yeah, and I'm a little nervous because I don't, the receiving corps are good. I love Smith, It's just I'm a little worried, and I love Hurts, and he brought a Super Bowl here and everything else, but I am a little concerned with the offense unless the running game just picks off like it did when we won the Super Bowl. And there's question marks with that because Barkley's not getting any younger. So
No, he's not.
and either is the offensive line. So I mean, we'll see. I just I worry about that element. And again, I question Hurts' passing abilities. I'll continue to question that until I see it.
Good stuff, Scott. Call again, man. Thank you.
I love the receiving corps. Devontae's great. And then moves on to the next point. And I appreciate, I'm not trying to rip Scott on that one. I'm just saying I think that's kind of where we're at right now, where it's like, yeah, no, they're going to be fine. They've got Devontae Smith. It's like, yes, they have Devontae Smith.
All right, so to your point, and you said this in the open, take a look at Wicks and what he's done in his career. That is a projection that you're betting.
Right.
That obviously Mannion had him in Green Bay and said, I really like him. They gave up a mid-round pick for him, and then they extended him a year, so he's under contract for 2 years. Doesn't mean that he has to turn into a number 2 wide receiver or a starting level wide receiver. They kind of need him to be that this year.
If it's not going to be him, it's going to be Lemon. That's a lot to put on. I get it. He's a first-round rookie. You're going to need to play him, but
there's more question marks than you've had here previously. Mekhi Lemon's a question mark. I think he's going to be great. I love him. What the hell do I know? Right? I'm not sure. After they drafted him, I said, hey, this guy looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. You kidding me? They roll the highlights. He's walking through with the shades.
He looks good.
Yeah.
Wicks looks like he has some real potential. I like that Mannion kind of plucked him out of Green Bay because they had an overabundance of those 2-3 wide receivers. Hollywood Brown's a smart pick because he's a legitimate NFL wide receiver that if these other guys don't do anything, or, God forbid, there's an injury. That's the other thing.
Yep.
Yeah, Devontae's 165 pounds soaking wet, and he's really, really tough. Sometimes when he makes those catches, it's like when Embiid hits the floor.
Correct.
It's harder when he hits the floor. Devontae looks like he's going to break his back when he goes down on his back after some of these catches.
Yeah, he makes silent room catches. Catches that makes the entire room go silent. Everyone's looking at each other like, no. There's no way he's getting up from that, right? And then he kind of fights his way to the sideline for a play where he's holding his back a little bit. Then he's back out there, but for like half a second, you're like, oh, my God, the season's over. Everything's ruined. I can't believe I bought that jersey. Like, it's a terrible, terrible feeling when that happens for him. I will say, I want to go back to you mentioned the third down running there because that's a big thing Hurts-wise, but also like when you're talking about the passing offense and when you need a play on third down, who's the 50-50 ball? Like Devontae, again, we talked about those catches. He could be that guy, but in terms of physicality and fighting their way, like.
But did they do that last year?
No, but I think the people that go with the argument of would you have won the Super Bowl without A.J. Brown in 2024? And I understand the compelling side of it where, yeah, you probably could have. I remember that Commanders NFC Championship game, and it's a play that sticks out in my mind because it was one of those, like, which way is this game going to go, where it was still close early on. I think it was a 4th and 3. They go down the left side to A.J. Brown, and it was a tight window where it's like he just needed a little bit of separation because, it's been documented. He didn't get a ton of separation. Makes the catch down the side, and there's just been plays like that where a slant, we talked about how much the slant was kind of unstoppable with them when it actually was thrown, and they actually ran it. Like those types of plays, I don't know if I see a wide receiver that profiles like that for this team right now. And that is a concerning piece for me. Understanding still that this is not exactly a quarterback nor an offense that's been based on timing and based on tight window throws over the last couple of years.
All right, there's one text that has their biggest question mark. That's something that we're not talking about. Sean Robin, Davis Honda text line.
It's along the lines of what we're talking about, but the biggest question mark from this person is Sean Mannion. He's never called plays when an OC is good, Super Bowl. When the OC is bad, it looks wild. It's a wild card out there.
Are we in? I don't know if you said it on the air before we went on, because you are a Mannion guy.
Right, of course. Yes. It's going in my bio tomorrow after this show.
But you said it on the air. He is 32 and hasn't called plays yet.
Correct.
I know I'm already giving him another head coaching job.
I'm giving him the head coaching job here. No, I'm sorry,
my
buddy.
guy.
And that's in my notes.
So I'm not doing a good enough job.
Not with my guy. Are we sure? Again, if you're just tuning in, we believe the Eagles are going to be good this year.
Right.
But there has to also be question marks. Like, what is the biggest question mark? I got to go back to Saquon Barkley for a second. I love Saquon, man. That was one of the funnest seasons, his first year in Philadelphia. It was one of the funnest seasons that individually, not even talking about as a team, they won the Super Bowl. Individually, this dude was unbelievable. He really, really was. And last year, when you look at the overall numbers, and I know he had a couple of big games that maybe helped those numbers, but 1,140 yards, and he still ran for 4 yards a carry. That's not horrible, but he's played in 16 games each of the last 2 years for the Eagles. When you look at what he did for the Giants, man, he was missing games because of injury.
Right.
For the most part, he's been able to stay healthy. So now he's a year older. The line is Landon Dickerson and company that went to Columbia. Are they just going to be better this year? I mean, I don't know. I think we're just assuming that they're going to be. Are they? Defenses, did they key more on Saquon Barkley last year? Did they defend the Eagles differently? And they said, hey, what you did the year before, you can't do. See, that's the thing is NFL teams year to year, it's a chess match. So these defensive coordinators spend all offseason and say, well, how are we going to stop the Eagles' offense? They just won the Super Bowl. How are we going to stop Saquon Barkley? How are we going to stop the Rams? So that's what they do. So that's why you see adjustments year to year to where a Jaden Daniels isn't as good the following year, right? Adjustments are made. I don't know, man. I mean, is there a world where the Eagles' offense ain't great this year again?
Yeah, there's absolutely a world. It's not a world we want to believe exists, but there's 100% a world. You took the top wide receiver from a season ago. The running back got a year closer to 30. The offensive line, you just mentioned it. We mentioned it earlier, went to Columbia, 40% of it. Another 20% of it was contemplating retirement out in their barn for the last, 3 weeks following the season. Yeah, there's a world in which it's not as good, for sure. And there's a world where, and this is, I call it the dark path thought because it's usually the ones I have where I'm like, this is like disaster scenario for me. And I can't believe I'm saying this sitting in the chair of Sean Brace. There's a chance that it's all right, yeah, Jalen, we saw what it was. It is what it is at this point. You know that he's got the intangibles to do it, but the league's kind of adjusted to what he is. There's a whole path where all those question marks end up in poor answers for you. Do I think that's the most likely scenario? No. But there's variability in the way this offense looks. Absolutely. And I found that pass, by the way. It was a 4th and 5, 31-yard pass down the sideline to A.J. Brown. It was 14-12 at that time, close to the half. People forget how close that game was until it wasn't.
It was not a blowout early. Yeah.
No. I remember it was a lot of tight, what.
Well, even in the second half, I remember saying, not over yet. Not over yet.
I was doing the pacing back here.
And then it was over.
And then it was over. They were making fun of me back here because I was nervous when it was what was the score? It was 34-15, and I was still sitting here whoa, guys. Listen, let's not get out of hand.
I remember I went, at halftime, I went out to look at Christmas lights. Was that the game? I think it was the game. I went out. No, that was last year. That was last year. It wasn't the NFC Championship game. It was the Washington game last year. Went out to look at Christmas lights, and at halftime, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to pay attention. I'll just catch up on DVR. And we went to this house that has that plays Metallica. And all the lights are synced up to the Metallica songs. They play a bunch of songs, but
man, that area's gotten a lot nicer since I've been gone,
bro. If you can't have a big light display at your house, we don't have a big light display, but if you don't have a neighborhood with a bunch of light displays, then you're not living in Collegeville.
No, yeah, you can get a lot of good looks lights. I was at Collegeville yesterday. Nice going home.
Oh, that's right. You went to lunch with Granny.
Yeah, Nana.
Nana.
Granny's down the shore. Yeah,
okay,
I'll see them at some point. Yeah.
How's Nana doing?
Oh, wonderful. Getting around.
Where'd you go to lunch?
Little Firebirds action.
Oh, you went to Firebirds.
Yes. Yeah, nice little chicken. She got the fish tacos. All good. Big spicy margarita for Nana.
And then you went down to the bar afterwards?
Whoa, how'd you know? I got it. So I planned on not doing anything last night. I swear. I want this one on the right. I planned. My buddy texted me. He's moved to South Philly now. He's like, I'm coming up, my friend, we're coming up, popping around a couple bars in Fishtown. We know the bartenders, are you around tonight? I was like, I'll be back probably around 8ish. She was like, oh, cool, we're going at 8. And I was like, no, I probably shouldn't. I should stay in tonight. I did not. No, I made my way around.
Hey, Ray.
I saw a number of different bars last night, and I saw the end of the Knicks game, which was great.
Yeah.
That's why I'm rocking the NBA shirt today. I'm proud of the association.
I noticed.
Welcome back, Spurs.
I noticed.
It's over, but I want to pretend that it's not.
All right, we have a voice memo on the Davis Honda text line. Hit it, Robin.
Hey, John. Hey, Mark. How you doing? Not only am I doing a charity for, some chess player, I'm actually doing another charity. It's called Save the Embiid Foundation, so he can still play in Philadelphia, because he's he's such a valuable member, mostly off the court because he never plays.
Oh, there you go. Well, thank you, Daryl Morey. Again, Daryl Morey becoming a big fixture in the show.
Yeah. He's got time on his hands.
I have Embiid fatigue, but then I was also similar to Jalen. Sometimes I'll talk about, because there's like you hear things and things are being reported in the locker room, and guys kind of like they tolerate Jalen about all the talk that we have and the negative stories in the press, and while all that I believe are fair, I also sometimes reflect and be like, well, all right, the dude did win the Super Bowl, was the Super Bowl MVP, so maybe I'm focusing a little bit too much on this stuff, whatever. And then I think about Embiid, and yesterday was all about they need to trade Embiid. Let me ask the new president about trading Embiid. Are they coming back with Embiid? And then I think about it, and I'm like, he did have emergency surgery, and he was playing 2 weeks later, and
it's convenient to forget. I mean, then again, they did get swept by the Knicks, and I don't had that series been remotely competitive, I don't know if we would have had the vitriol reaction that we did to everything that went down. But yeah, it's easy to forget that I remember I was sitting on a train platform waiting to go up to New York and got the notification, that the appendectomy. So I was like, oh man, everything we talked about 2 hours ago really just took on a new life. And I was like, well, I guess the season's over. There's no way, he's going to miss the playoffs, the whole thing.
And then he came back in the second series.
Yep. The first series.
Came back in the first series.
Came back.
And helped them win.
Yeah. And they went down 3-1 because he looked lost in the first game. They spotted them at 3-1. Nah, it's amazing.
I do have Embiid fatigue, and I do want him traded.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm not backing off of that.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't think that you were just going to get all warm and fuzzy about Embiid. Be like, you know what? He needs to be a Sixer for his entire career.
So based on, let's talk about that next segment, all right? Because I do have, when you frame what Gansey said yesterday and what's been said about Embiid since Bob Myers took over, right? If you framed it in everyday life, there are same answers to it. What answers would you be getting? So we'll get to that coming up here in a second. Xavier from Newtown Square checking in on the Davis Honda text line voice memo. Go.
Hey, good morning, guys. Xavier from Newtown Square. Look, man, I don't know if I'm being petty. I don't know if I'm being overly sensitive, but A.J. Brown leaves a message on one of his photos in the Eagles facility that, showing all the Pro Bowlers and stuff like that. Underneath the picture, he wrote, the best Eagles to ever do it. Always open. But the fact that you want to leave these little messages saying you're the best Eagle to ever do it when you've been here for 4 years, and 2 of the years you're sitting over there reading books on sidelines and doing the most extra stuff, bro, stop it. I'd rather put a lot of people before you.
It's good stuff. Now, I mean, it's possible that AJ and Ray brought the book in case I made him mad. He can read the book so he doesn't freak out on the air. He's got
the happiness addiction. When we run or reject pain and adversity, we travel the slippery slope of addiction.
Hey, listen, pal, I didn't say, in fact, I'm the only person that pushes back when you called him the best wide receiver in franchise history.
That's correct.
So he must have heard you say it, and therefore he's down at the facility saying, well, Ray said it. It must be true.
How about that? I'm okay with that. A.J. Brown, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. When you talk about the media, you're talking about Ray Dunn. Remember that. If you want to hop on a Twitch stream with me, I'm in. Let's play Madden. Let's talk about it.
So, well, Mike Garofalo had something on a little bit of an update on A.J. Brown that we'll play coming up next segment. But, yeah, go figure. A.J. Brown has wide receiver tendencies.
Yeah, I was going to say, shocking. A wide receiver believes he's the best wide receiver to ever exist. Did we not listen to him the last 4 years? He believes he's the best receiver in the league and just wants the football. You think he doesn't think he's the best one to ever walk through the Eagles facility?
Do you know what Keyshawn Johnson's book was?
No.
I don't remember after what season it was.
Outer Excellence?
Just throw me the damn ball. Legit.
Throw me the damn ball. Would you imagine if AJ, instead of Inner Excellence, was just reading that? Just throw me the damn ball.
Book. And then Wayne Corbett, just give me the damn ball. Wayne Corbett, who was the little white wide receiver that fans, of course, loved because he was from Hofstra. And he was he was good. He was a good possession receiver. He had something to him. And, of course, the fans loved him, and he was getting a lot of targets. You think Keyshawn enjoyed that? You think Keyshawn liked that?
No, I can imagine you didn't enjoy that.
Just give me the damn ball.
Just give me the damn ball.
It was released in 97, so it wasn't – Glenn Foley actually was playing with Keyshawn. He was Keyshawn's quarterback, I think. Maybe the next year or that year. Vinny Testaverde ended up – Glenn got hurt, and Vinny Testaverde ended up taking over, and they went to the AFC Championship game. But yeah, this is a wide receiver.
Yeah,
type
premise, a no-holds-barred look at the pressures of being the number 1 overall pick, navigating the New York media, and calling out teammates and coaches. 224 pages of that.
Calling out teammates and coaches. I'm sure that went over well.
Well, hey, it's not leaking stories if you put out a book.
Right. No, but no, it is, though.
Oh, okay,
it is, though.
you got
'Cause
it.
according to today's terminology for leaking,
Right,
so we
yeah.
actually say stuff to the media. 610-632-0975. We have the Eagles-Patriots joint practice dates.
Yes, we do. According to the Patriots, they will be August 19th and 20th.
All right, clear calendars.
There you
Boys
go.
trip to Boston.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh,
No trip. But put it on your calendar because AJ is going to be up there. Can you imagine what that theater is going to be like up there?
It's not really going to be theater, though, because the defensive guys love him.
The whole team loves him.
Yeah, but I'm just like you're thinking about Quinion or Coop guarding him. It's like, yeah, they're going to be like smiling at each other.
Here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, is there a hug between Jalen and AJ?
Yes.
There is.
Yes.
Really?
AJ said nothing but love. Jalen became a comedian. The two of them, they're going to make it look like everything's good because the last thing they want is to talk about this anymore.
That's true. And Jalen would rather do that than try to get back at him
Right.
by saying something in the media.
He'll get back at him by January.
So what is Garofalo? We're going to play this coming up next. What is Garofalo saying in the cut? He's giving an update on what Xavier was saying about him signing stuff.
Correct. So AJ returned to the facility for one final time to say his goodbyes and to collect the last of whatever was left of his in Philadelphia. And Garofalo gives you insight into what didn't happen, allegedly.
The massage
That
therapist
did happen.
rumor that's out there. All right, that's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5. Sean Marks, Ray Dunn, The Worm, Sean Rodman. The Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. Your voice memos. If you want to send in, like, you don't want to talk about the Eagles in the voice memo, that's fine. Send us content. We had a listener send us an open to the news at noon, and now we don't have to do work for a couple days.
Correct.
It was excellent.
It was fantastic. Shout out Mike.
Send us content. Send us parody songs on The Worm, Sean Rodman. The YouTube chat calls him a furry. Is that correct?
That's thanks to Andrew Salciunas. Yes.
He calls you a furry?
Yeah, I don't even know how it started at one point. Somehow they're talking about furries, and Andrew brought it up. But yeah, that's what he calls me.
Are you a furry?
No, I am not.
Okay. I mean, you gotta ask the question.
No, you have to ask the question.
It's a fair question.
Just like you have to ask yesterday about a beat, you got to ask Rod.
Right, that's what I just
he's
thought.
a furry.
What is a furry? I don't even really know. I just
Rodman, you would know better.
I mean, I don't know how I would know better because I'm not a furry, to make that clear.
It's a subculture defined by an interest in animal characters. Members of the fandom known as furries often have their own characters in the form of fursonas and wear fursuits, engaging with fellow furries on the internet and at furry conventions.
Right. So that's why Rodman was off last weekend.
He was at the furry convention?
Correct.
That is not why.
All right.
I mean,
Wait, I was here. I worked with you.
I can't confirm nor deny that.
Doesn't mean you couldn't go to the Oaks Expo Center to the furry convention. All right, well, there you go. So let's play this. This is Mike Garafolo on NFL Network. And he's talking about, we haven't had an A.J. Brown update in 12 hours.
Yeah, no,
hours.
I really missed it. I'm itching. Feed me some more of that AJ stuff.
This is new info. That's interesting. And it's also, he adds something to the whole rumor that was going around about what happened with A.J. and Jalen Hurts. Here's Garafolo.
A.J. Brown closed the chapter on his time in Philadelphia because he was there at the facility last week. I believe it was Thursday. He was there to pick up some stuff at the facility and say his goodbyes. On the walls there, they have pictures of Pro Bowl players. And A.J. signed his. They have the players sign it. So he signed it. And then from what I was told, he then added, "The best to ever play here, always open." Now, that signature is going to stay up on the wall. They may have to edit out the message as well, but and no hard feelings or anything like that. It's just he had his affinity for the time that he played in Philadelphia, and they still love him. There's still a lot of love for him inside that building. Let me also hit the other elephant now. This talk of what's happening and why the trade happened, and A.J. Brown and Hassan Reddick, and you've seen it probably on social media. I talked to Big Dom about this, okay? And Big Dom knows what's happening in that entire building, and he was adamant that is not true. There is no truth to that. That Hassan Reddick is no longer an Eagle because Hassan Reddick wanted a huge payday. And A.J. Brown is no longer an Eagle for reasons that have nothing to do with what's circulating online. He could not have been more adamant. That story is complete and utter bupkis.
All right, I mean, don't you have to explain, though? Other than just kind of talking around it, if you're gonna bring it up, just say there was a rumor that was circulating that there was a problem between A.J. Brown and Hassan Reddick. Even if you don't bring up the massage therapist angle of it, you have to kind of explain, other than just bringing up Reddick's name out of nowhere. I mean, we all know about it, but does 99% of the people out there know what the hell he's talking about?
Those that care know.
Well, Eagles fans,
right? Like I think at this point, those that care for it know. I mean, it's made its rounds. You had national people talking about it.
I know. Well, you had Craig talking about it.
And Jim Rome, right? Didn't he?
Oh, that's right.
Talking about
that's right. In the jungle, they talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, they're throwing it everywhere.
Because who doesn't know somebody that listens to Jim Rome on a regular basis?
Hey, man, it's about viral clips. It's not necessarily about what you listen to.
You're right.
National host says this about A.J. Brown.
There may be people right now, Ray. In fact, I know there's probably a lot of people that are saying, well, what are you guys talking about? So I'll say what we're talking about. There was a Twitter account that wasn't an actual person. It's some type of an account where it could be anybody, Mamba something or I don't know, whatever it is, but it's an Eagle fan. And said that he had inside information that there was a massage therapist that both A.J. Brown and Hassan Reddick were potentially or fooling around with, and that there was some type of a fight over that, and that and that Jalen Hurts didn't have A.J. Brown's back during that whole thing, and that's what the problem was. Now, it was brought up. It's been brought up by national people, so now it has to be kind of explained. It is so friggin' irresponsible to take something that was put on Twitter and run with it if you're a national host like Jim Rome. But once Craig Carton put it out there, then it became it became actual news to talk about. But regardless of all that, I don't. What the hell do you want me to say about it? I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. And who knows? Could it be true? Sure. I mean, is it fair to put it out there? No. I believe they're both married, or AJ would have been in a relationship at that point. But if Mike Garafolo is going to bring it up on NFL Network, now I feel like that I actually have to do it. And here's another thing. Hey, Mike, you've been around long enough, and you're one of the best reporters in the business. I think you do a great job. Just because Big Dom told you something wasn't true doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't true. Big Dom is there to protect the Eagles' interests. And if he feels like not leaking a story or denying a story better protects the Eagles' interests, guess what they're going to do? Big Dom doesn't always have to be truthful, and Big Dom isn't on a lie detector so we can see if he's telling the truth or not. I had a run-in with a former colleague over something, and I'll keep it generic. And I was being told that this was a fact, and because he knows. And I said, it isn't necessarily a fact because that's what you're being told. Yes, it is. It's a fact. This is what happened. And I said, no, this is what they told you is happened. That doesn't make it a fact. These teams put out BS all the time. So with all that being said, I didn't hear this massage therapist rumor. I have no idea if it's true, so that's why I'm not going to talk about it. I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, this is press secretary shuts down questions about health type of thing. Like, that's what Big Dom's designed to do. The secrets that Big Dom has, one of the reasons I think you give the guy a pay raise every year is because, hey, man, we're going to keep you as happy as possible. Like, we want that contract extension. It's a lifetime deal for Big Dom. You want to know why? Because Big Dom knows more about that organization than any of us could even hope to know combined. So, yeah, I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that maybe Big Dom is trying to protect a little bit of the organization with that.
Yeah, he's Winston Wolfe. He's the fixer. Yeah, and say that I spoke to people in the Eagles organization who say that it isn't true. When you bring up Big Dom and you say, oh, well, this isn't true because Big Dom said it. Okay. That problem solved. That's it. Big Dom said it.
Yeah.
By the way, is it even an issue with us? What do we care?
Well, yeah, at this point, they're both gone. Hassan Reddick was traded. A.J. Brown was traded. Do I believe Hassan Reddick wanted more money? Yeah, I do. Do I believe A.J. Brown wanted to be in an offense that more prominently featured him? Yeah, I do. If they had this happen on the side of them, it's none of my business.
Both things could have been true. If there was a personal situation involving that, do you really believe a couple years later that that's the driving force between A.J. being unhappy with Jalen Hurts? I don't believe it.
Are you telling me that he's sitting there reading this book during the Packers game in the playoffs because of something that happened with Hassan Reddick or the fact he didn't get the football?
Nothing to do with Hassan Reddick.
Exactly.
Who, by the way, wanted more money, wanted a new contract, and his teammates didn't particularly like him, according to what I heard and reports.
I remember a subtle shot being thrown by a longtime defensive lineman. That was
Fletcher Cox.
Yep, that was said some people were fighting for stats. Yep. I remember it.
Yep, and that was it. Like, instead of staying where he should be, he's going out of his lanes to try to get sacks, which was causing run plays and other plays to actually happen.
Yep.
And his fellow defensive lineman did not appreciate that.
Correct.
Believe me, I've heard that without saying names. I've heard that from potential Eagles that were playing on that line.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
610-632-0975. We do have some voice memos on the Eagles, which we'll get to. Also coming up, we did speak to the new Eagles president of basketball operations yesterday, Mike Gansey, and what he said about Joel Embiid. And we do have Embiid fatigue, but is it really something, or is it just like they're answering the question and whatever? Like, when he answers a question like that, are we not seeing that they're trying to move Joel Embiid? We'll discuss it coming up next. Middays and Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5, The Fanatic Sports Update.
What's next for the Sixers? I'm Sean Rodman, and this update's brought to you by Family and Company Jewelers. Stitch the ties and gift cards this year and get Dad something different. Get him a gift that shows how much you care, like a hand-forgotten pocket knife with William Henry. FamilyJewelers.com. The new president of basketball operations spoke yesterday for the first time, Mike Gansey. He also joined Middays and Marks yesterday on the type of players he wants on this Sixers roster.
Especially in the NBA at this level, you got to have someone that has an elite skill. Like, how are they getting on an NBA floor? But I think the intangibles are just as important. You know, can they do other things that help you win? Obviously, the character of the person and his work ethic.
The first opportunity for Gansey is to add to his roster will be the NBA draft in just about 2 weeks. Sixers have the 22nd overall pick. Phillies, they took game 1 last night against the Blue Jays. Adolis Garcia hit his 3rd home run in 5 days, and the Phillies have now scored 5 more runs in 3 of their last 4 games. We'll see if they can continue tonight with Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Phillies and Dylan Cease for the Blue Jays. First pitch is at 7:07. This update's also brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, develops better athletes and better people through sports. Info at positivecoaching.org. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Sports. Oh, 97.5 The Fanatic with Ray Dunn today. Sean Brace is on assignment. The furry, the worm, but the worm's not a furry. Sean Rodman.
No, I wouldn't say a worm is a furry.
Oh, you're not a furry. We're not going to do that. On our show, you're the worm.
Okay.
Salciunas texted me and said that you guys were talking about furries one morning, and someone said, who at the station is most likely to be one? Then you were voted that it's you.
I don't even think I was voted. I think Andrew just dubbed that.
Okay, so Andrew voted. He said everybody agreed, is what his exact words were. But somebody in the text chat, in the YouTube chat, said that.
Yes. I guess how it originally started, Fran in the YouTube chat said that that I was going to dress up as someone from Paw Patrol for Cooper's birthday.
I dressed up as a Paw Patrol character for Halloween. I was Ryder, not one of the dogs, though. Ryder's the boy who is the ringleader of the dogs. So he's the one.
Gotcha.
He's the one in charge.
Gotcha.
So and then my girls were all, at the time they liked Paw Patrol. So everybody was a Paw Patrol character.
It makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, checks out.
Yeah, because you were actually looking through a couple of tweets here. Ray, you saw somebody say that he'd be a squirrel. So if you were to say what furry would Rodman be? A squirrel's a popular answer?
Yeah, Alvin and the Chipmunks. That was another one that he might be a little theme dress up for you.
If it was a horny Rodman, a bunny, is what somebody said. Right? Is this a sexual thing for you?
No.
Being a furry?
No.
Because I'm sure there's
I don't think my girlfriend would approve.
She's not a furry?
She's not a furry.
Does she know about you being a furry?
She's heard this conversation before.
Right.
She's aware of this. She thought it was funny.
So it's not true. You say I'm going to the grocery store and you go to the furry convention for an hour and then you come back?
No, I just go to the grocery store.
All right. All right.
Puts that rumor to bed.
Just checking. Okay. Embiid Sixers conversation in 1 second, but we got to give Chris Sanchez some credit.
Hey,
Ray Dunn didn't have his best stuff last night, I guess. I mean, he kind of did. He still had 10 strikeouts.
Yeah.
But he gave up 2 whole runs in 7 innings.
Concerning when you think about it. He gave up a run last time out. He's given up 2 now. If you keep down this stretch, we're going to be in real trouble at about 5 starts.
How about this? Let's do a cross poll. More concerning, the Eagles' offense, passing offense, or Chris Sanchez?
610.
Yep.
Chime in. Get you text into the Davis on the text line.
7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 10 Ks. It was great because he was gassed in the 7th, and he looked at Matt. He was it a walk? It was a 2-out walk. It put 2 men on. It brought the tying run to the plate. So kind of an important batter.
Yep.
And the catcher came up, and he does have some power at 7 home runs so far this year. And he looked over at Mattingly, and he said, one more batter. And Donnie Baseball said, okay.
Yeah. He respects that.
Hey, man, when you have a pitcher this good.
That was the 6th. I think it was the 6th, where he runner on third, nobody out, 3 straight strikeouts. It's like, that's disgusting. And the pitchers are swinging it, too. I mean, JT sliding all over the place to try and get in front of him. I think it was George Springer that said before the game to Toronto media that it was like, yeah, he's got 3 pitches, but it's like 6. Because you just have no idea where it's going.
Yeah.
You feel like you're up against the world when you go against him. I know we say it every time, but 3 years ago, we were talking about a guy that had like a 5 walk per 9 walk rate down in AAA, and he's turned into one of, if not the best starter across baseball.
Yeah, he's top 5 for sure.
You got the Miz, you got Skeens, you got him, you got Scooble,
and you got Sanchez, same Ohtani, same conversation.
Yeah.
He's got a shot at 20 wins. He's 8 wins. Not a lot of guys get 20 wins anymore. And he's got, before the All-Star break, he's got how many starts? So if you go once a week, he's got probably 3 or 4 starts before the All-Star break. He's got a shot at 20 wins, which is crazy.
All right, last 21 pitcher.
For the Phillies or
in baseball?
Oh, geez, I have no idea.
I believe this is AI.
Scooble do it?
No, Scooble did not do it. We have not had a 20-win pitcher since 2023. Strider was the last 20
Strider. Really? He won 20 games?
He won 20 games. There's been, since 2017, the start of the 2017 season, there has been 3 20-win starters. That's incredible.
Does not happen.
Doesn't happen. Sheesh.
Yep, he's got an outside shot. So he keeps winning the starts, 8-2 now on the season. I think he's 8-2. He's got a shot. Adolis the Swolus. And it's Adolis.
Adolis.
Garcia, another home run.
Never
last
been so
night.
back.
Are you back?
And I could say that I didn't lose faith for this one reason. I am in this big dynasty fantasy baseball. Like it is, we got minor leagues. It's a production. It's a lot.
And he's on your team?
16 teams. Yeah, so I've had him under contract while he sucked, which has been brutal. With all due respect, of course. But it's been brutal over the last couple of years because I got him with a 39 home run season the end of that year trying to make a playoff push, and I gave him an extension at that time, and the extension's ending this season. And if I had to drop him, I had to eat a contract here, and I didn't want to eat that contract here. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold on to him. We're going to sit him on the bench, pick up some outfielders. I'm going to wait till June. I'm going to wait till it gets warmer out, and we're going to see if by June this guy figures it out because he's still hitting the ball hard. He's just hitting at people, and he's not hitting it a ton. But maybe it'll turn around in June. So I've been holding out hope. When I tell you, last week, I was so very close to hit and drop and being like, you know what, I'm pulling the plug on this whole experience. It's June. It's over. I didn't. I'm thrilled. But it brings me to the point of Garcia at Citizens Bank Park. And it doesn't solve your problems in October. So I'm not saying that this is solving problems. But Garcia at Citizens Bank Park in the summer months with how hard he hits the ball, I'm cautiously optimistic that I see something quite a bit better than what we've seen so far.
Well, he's got 7 home runs.
Right.
So there is that raw. This is what I thought he was going to be, around 20 home runs and low average.
Right. But if he starts to really hit the ball here in June, and I'm not telling you it's going to be a high average or that he's going to be great at getting on base, but maybe we get back to flirting with that 25 home run line.
I'll take a 2-run homer.
Yeah, I'll take that. Get things
He
going.
needed it last night. He's been on a good run here. He's got 2 home runs, 3 home runs in the last 5 games.
Is this I don't want to make a scorcher here, and this is maybe not the day to do it, given the fact that he did make an error right yesterday. But in terms of that outfield, the biggest question mark I have right now is more the rookie than it is the aging guy declining.
Crawford's really been disappointing.
Yeah,
he's been disappointing. Started off really well, and I can't even. He had a home run against dead center home run against somebody.
Oh yeah,
that's the last thing I remember him doing, and I'm sure he's done something or whatever. But he's been a rookie, right? You have to understand, and I have to understand that guys are going to come up and they're going to have their struggles.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not making any impact.
No,
he's really, really not. You can't even say, well, the average is, but like when he gets on base, he's a terror on the bases or whatever. He's really not giving you anything.
He hit 195 in May.
Yeah, and Painter hasn't been good. I saw somebody put this out there, and then there was they're rookies.
They are.
Yeah, man, but you also have to contribute. You can be a rookie. No one's asking you to hit 330.
Right.
But you got to be able to contribute. And unfortunately with Crawford, he's not in a spot where he can just come up and play defense because the offense is stacked otherwise.
No, they need impact. They need someone that's making an impact in the lineup. Not doing that. And to his defense, he's made some really spectacular catches that have also been on the backs of some very interesting tracking of the fly ball. So I'm not here to tell you the guy's a bust. It's over. You know, Dutsy, if you clip it and make that the caption, we're going to fight after the show. But I'm really not loving where this is going with him right now. And if I had my biggest concern in the outfield, it's not the right-handed bat that hasn't shown up yet because I think he could play his position. It's probably the guy in center.
Yeah, it feels like they're 2 outfielders.
Yep.
They're going to need to acquire a right-handed bat. Garcia maybe could be all right, we don't have to worry so much about him.
They need a right-handed bat on top of him.
They need a right-handed bat regardless. You might need 2 right-handed bats because Crawford's not giving you much.
Right.
You might need a left-handed bat.
And to be fair, if Garcia was the $10 million guy, if Garcia was where he was supposed to be, maybe you wouldn't care as much about Crawford's offense. So I'll give Crawford that. But you signed Garcia knowing what the risk was going to be. You brought up Crawford knowing what the risk was going to be. We talked about the ground ball rate for him in the minor leagues for how long? I felt like we did that conversation once a week. Well, I don't know. How's that going to translate to the league? How's it going to? It hasn't translated well.
No, it hasn't. No, in fact, everything that you're worried about heading into the season kind of has come true.
And they're still sitting in that second wild card spot, Johnny.
It's crazy. And it's only June. He's a young player.
He is.
I'm not going to go nuts.
No.
But we're looking ahead to the trade deadline, and this is a team that's contending for a World Series.
And that's why, and this will put the positive on this. That's why you need to appreciate Brandon Marsh. Because he literally, he's the outfield savior right now. because he gives you a flexibility to address that outfield as you want. It's not going to be that he's a gold glove center fielder. He's not. Be average at best out there in center field. But if you need to put him in center, like we talked about with them going to a World Series with Schwarber in left, you went to the World Series with Marsh at center. So if you have to address the offense with an outfielder in the corner and stick Marsh in center because you feel like you need to, fine.
Uncle Jamie on the Davis Honda text line. They're 2 bats and one reliever away from being a true World Series contender. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to close that gap in season.
Well, I mean, all right. So he says true World Series contender, and I know what he's saying. So were they a true World Series contender last year? We know that Dave Dombrowski celebrated a World Series win. But,
fine line.
You know, if the umpire, they apologize to JT.
If Turner throws the ball to one side of the plate instead of the other.
But you know what they need? I said it all offseason. They need an impact bat.
Yep.
An impact bat.
So sometimes the move you don't make is the best move you make because it looks like every single impact bat that you would have went and got probably would have underwhelmed you.
Yep. Well, and Uncle Jamie with the follow-up text, and he's absolutely right. It's what you were saying. During the hot months, Adolis Garcia is going to hit home runs because it's hot out and the ball carries. In October, what's he going to be doing?
Correct. He's going to hit the long fly ball that the cameraman pans up. We all lose our minds at home, and then it's like caught on the warning track.
But that's when you need good hitters that can work counts that aren't relying on home runs.
And that's insane. I heard the stat yesterday about them against left-handed pitching. They actually, I think, are the 4th most home runs against left-handers this season. The issue is they're like bottom 3 and on base or OPS against them, which means, okay, they're slugging against them. They're not getting on base. There's no traffic on the base paths. And that's the problem.
You're getting solo home runs.
Solo shots, and you're not putting any pressure. What do we talk about every time with Nola, with Painter? When guys get on, and Luzardo, even Luzardo's worse.
Yeah, he's
it's
terrible
when
with guys on.
You get shaky because you got guys on base. You know what the Phillies don't do to guys? Put pressure on them because they're not on base.
It's true.
It's not even a question of base running. It's about a question of being on base.
It's true. All right, so Bob Cooney's coming up here at 11:30. We'll kind of discuss what happened yesterday and his thoughts on the Sixers as we head in. The draft's only 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
I think isn't it Tuesday night?
Yeah, 2 weeks from
today.
That's right.
So, you know, are they drafting a play? Feels like they're drafting a player based on
I would imagine so.
Based on the history of
Elton Brand sticking around for a little while.
Yeah. But so we'll talk to Bob about all this stuff. But this is less about yesterday we asked Gansey, and I made sure I asked him a question. I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, damn it, I wish I would have asked him. So you're telling me, like, will you guys consider trading Joel Embiid? Like, so we asked this. Here's the question and the answer. Go ahead. Sean gave you a tough question. I'm going to ask you about Joel Embiid. I know you spoke about it in your press conference. Mm-hmm. Is the plan to keep Joel, and can you say with 100% certainty that Joel Embiid is back for 2026?
Yeah, Joel's ours right now. I've had great conversations
stop it
with
right
him.
there. Joel's ours right now. And then I wish I would ask, are you open to trading Joel Embiid? And I don't know the answer I would have gotten.
Right.
But Joel is ours right now. Hey, Rodman, if your girlfriend called you today and said, and I talked to her today, and I said, how are things going with you and Sean? Do you expect to be living with Sean at the end of the year? And she said, well, Sean and I are living together right now. How would you feel about that?
Well, I wouldn't feel great considering we just signed a lease and it starts in 2 weeks. Actually, not even less than 2 weeks.
You can sublet it or whatever. But the point is, given an opportunity to say Joel Embiid's going to be back, he said he's ours right now. I mean, like, take it away from the basketball aspect and put it in everyday life. All right, Ray. You asked me if you think that I'm going to be with the show and be with the station in 2027, and I said, well, you're here right now.
All right, fire up the resume, folks.
How would you feel about that? Are we not paying attention close enough to their messaging to fans about what they think of Joel Embiid? I think for sure they're setting the tone for what they expect from him if he is here, but I think it's more than that. Here's what I believe Bob Myers thinks. Joel Embiid's a great talent. I don't care. I have 4 rings, and I can't win with a guy that's playing like he's playing, that acting like the way he's acting, the culture and everything else. He was here for a year. He's seen it firsthand. He knows everything that happens behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So right now, are they saying, hey, we're gonna search around If there's a trade out there to be made that makes sense for us, we're going to do it. Otherwise, if he comes back, things are going to be different, and we're going to have conversations, and they're going to challenge him. And I do think that Embiid is up for a challenge, but I think there's a real possibility they trade him, or they're going to try to.
I think they challenge him for a year. I think that's the likely scenario here, right?
So are they putting this out there to make him feel uneasy and to be like, listen, they'll trade you? Sean says it all the time. Embiid's very comfortable here. He doesn't want to be traded. Mm-hmm. So now he has to realize that the team is out there not showing confidence that he's going to be back 100%. They're not kissing his ass. They're not talking about former MVP. And they're not doing any of that.
Gansey mentioned on with us he wants to see him improve defensively, which coming out of the Knicks series, you could absolutely say that. But is that really the way you're talking? Like, you think, put this in any other organization that you would be hired by, and you have a former MVP there that's under a long-term contract. Is there a lot of challenges just being thrown out there? Is there a lot of, hey, I want to see this from the guy? Or is it more, man, am I lucky to be at this place with this level guy?
Nope.
It's usually that. And that's kind of what I anticipated Bob Myers to do.
That was Morey.
And that was. And I think that's why I see this as like, all right, we're in a tough bind with trying to get out of this contract because of just the length of it, where he's at health-wise, everything that goes into the show here. Let's challenge him for a year. If you challenge him for a year and he doesn't want to be, because we know what we have in Maxey, we know what we have in Edgecombe, we know the type of mentality they bring day in, day out.
Oh, well, they've gushed about those
we have two
guys.
dynamic guards, very excited about them. And by the way, I don't think it's a coincidence they hired Gansey, given the fact that Cleveland made it work with two smaller guards before Harden. I think they look at Gansey as like, all right, you've built around two smaller guards. What does that look like? What do you want to build around those two guys? I think they look at, hey, let's pick his brain about this. I think they look at this 1 year. We know what talent he is. We know where he's at in his career. If it doesn't work out then, it's a 2-year contract, and then we could try and actually start moving off of things and changing things if we don't believe he responds to that challenge well. I think that you give up too much right now in part with him for them to say, like, it's a good value move on their part. I mean, I'm sure they're going to look. I don't think they're married to the
Is
idea.
it more that they're challenging Joel or they're looking to move him?
I think it's more they're setting up for an eventual move. I don't think it's an imminent move.
Well, I mean, like, yeah. I can't imagine they're going into this being like, well, like Joel, and we can win a championship this year or next year. Joel's just got to play a little bit more. They're certainly challenging him.
They're doing enough to suggest he's here, but not enough to suggest that this is his organization going forward.
Oh, no, for sure. I think more than anything, what they're doing is they're saying, we're setting the culture. What you've been doing before isn't happening anymore.
Correct.
That's done.
That's where I think they draw a line in the sand. You see how he responds to it. And, I mean, that's a wide variable. That's a big question of where that goes. Because he could respond to it and say, you know what? I want to win a championship. He could also respond and say, you know what? Bleep you. What have I done for this city?
I don't think he does that.
I don't think he does it, but I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
I think everybody wants to be challenged and coached for the most part. And I believe that about Embiid. But if you're going to allow him, since he's been here, to do whatever the hell he wants, guess what he's going to do?
Whatever the hell he wants.
And that's what he's been doing. And he's so talented that he's able to get away with it because, as Gansey said to us, he can, any night he can give you 30 and 10 or 25, whatever he said.
Yep.
And that's true, and they know that. But Myers comes in here, man, his job isn't on the line for Joel Embiid. Gansey's job's not on the line for Joel Embiid. Their view is, all right, we have this guy, but like, is he going to be here long term? Probably not. Does anybody believe Joel Embiid's a part of the long term future of the Sixers? He can't play. He can't stay healthy.
Can I get the best out of him for a year?
Yeah, I think they can.
And I think that's, if you're Gansey, you come in and say, my job's not, like you said, my job's not on the line. If I get the best out of him for a year, what's the potential of this team? If it doesn't work with him for a year, guess what? I got 2 years in that contract. It's a lot more movable than 3. We then try and reshuffle the deck. It's not what Sixers fans want to hear, that have Embiid fatigue, but I think that's the way you look at it if you're him.
This is the Allen Iverson motivation 2001 year, where they almost traded him. They would have traded him if someone would have waived their no trade clause with Montross, or I forget exactly who it was, Geiger. They would have went to the Pistons. Literally would have went to the Pistons, and then that motivated him enough to go to practice and things like that. Does this motivate Joel? All right, so we have Bob Cooney on Patterson, our old buddy. He's Going to join us coming up next. His thoughts. What does he think the Sixers are doing? What's the strategy with Joel Embiid? I'll talk to Bob about that and more next. Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What's the plan with Joel Embiid? I'm Sean Rodman, and this update's brought to you by Bet Online. One tournament in the world stops here at this one's on home soil, and it's yours. Your call, your action, live lines, and no limits. It's your year for the biggest soccer tournament. Bet Online has all the action you need. Bet on at Bet Online. And the new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, spoke yesterday, and he joined Middays with Marks, and he talked about Embiid. Well, he is here right now, but he also said on his where his physical he is now, and the plan for next season.
He's somewhat healthy for the most part, right now. We got the medical staff and the coaching staff, and we're all going to huddle up and put a plan together. Maybe that's some back-to-backs, no back-to-backs, but, he's going to have input, and we're going to have input as well.
Gansey's first order of business is going to be the NBA draft. The Sixers have the 22nd overall pick this year, just 2 weeks away. Phillies take game 1 against the Blue Jays. We'll see if they can continue tonight. Zach Wheeler gets a start for the Phils, and Dylan Cease for the Blue Jays. First pitch is at 7:07. Eagles minicamp starts today. Nick Sirianni will speak today to the media at 12:30. And this update's also brought to you by America 250. This July 4th, celebrate at America's Block Party, a can't-miss concert at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, hosted by America 250. Learn more at america250.org. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
back, Middays. Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. Programming reminder, on Thursday, we'll be doing the show live from Parks Casino, Bet Parks Sportsbook, because it's a FIFA broadcast.
That's
World Cup
right.
broadcast?
Kicks off the World Cup starting Thursday, 3 o'clock.
How about that?
That's right.
So 10 to 2. Are you coming out too? Did they find somebody for you?
That's still TBD.
Okay.
TBD.
I think they were trying to.
Yeah. If I had to put it in sports terms for you, I'm a Joel Embiid questionable right now. It could go really either way for you.
That seems like you're going to be out.
Yeah.
If it's already Tuesday and we're still talking about it. All right. Well, regardless, Sean will be there. I will be there. So all of our listeners up in the Bucks County area, Parks Casino in Ben Salem, come on down. We'll be there on Thursday, 10 to 2. 11 o'clock hour of the show brought to you by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. But let's talk to our buddy. Some people call him Basketball Bob. Others say, let's go have some beers with Bob. I just call him Bob Cooney from Maud Patterson. What do you call him, Ray?
Bobby.
Bobby Cooney joins us right now from Maud Patterson. Does a great job covering the Sixers and everything else. What's up, Bob?
There's very limited people in this world that call me Bobby, and we will keep it at that. It is my sisters and a couple of girls that I graduated from high school with. So, Ray, you will respectfully call me Bob.
Wait. I want to get a little further into this questioning. Why was it only a few girls you graduated high school with?
I'm still friends with them. I'm friends with everybody that I graduated from high school with. Yeah,
lifelong. Probably knew Bob when he was Bobby.
He runs
5,
South
6,
Jersey.
7 years old. Right. It makes sense. All right, so
Ray, you can call me whatever you want.
I'm interested in your thoughts on Mike Gansey, the hire, the press conference, the media that he did afterwards. What is your opinion on the 76ers hire?
Yeah, there was a lot to take away from yesterday, I thought. I also thought that there was sometimes that there was stuff not to take away, as you guys have alluded to. But I think the key things were, when they're talking about Joel Embiid, I don't think we have to overthink it, guys. What's the best case scenario for a Mike Gansey coming in as president of basketball operations to get out of Joel Embiid? That's like 60, 65 games this year of good basketball. And see where A, takes the team, see where B, it might garner interest around the league for him in the coming years, and just see what you have. I thought between Gansey and Bob Myers, it was clear that they want to stick Joel Embiid out there as much as possible. And, we're not sure if he's going to play or not. I don't think they're going to allow that if they can get the medical team on board. It's going to be like, hey, sorry you're not 100%, but we need you out there. You got to play. So I think that's one of the things that came about it. Another one was they talked about having fun an awful lot of times. Well, to me, reading on the inside, I'm wondering, well, is that a direct I don't want to say shot. Is that being directly alluded to maybe some of the goings-on around this organization that haven't made things fun? And that could go right to a Joel Embiid being late for planes and being late for things and holding up teammates getting to where they want to be. So the fun aspect was interesting. And the third thing I thought was the most interesting, guys, Bob Myers, and I asked him a question about how do you identify this team, or what is this team right now? And he said, we need an identity. We don't have an identity. And it's almost like he was waiting to say it. He wanted to say it so bad. And he said, we don't have an offensive identity. We don't have a defensive identity, and we need to get one of those. So overall, interesting. I don't know if they know exactly what they have now and how it's going to move forward.
Yeah, I didn't know you asked that question. Yeah, I think a lot of us listening to what they were saying between Bob yesterday and Gansey on with us and at his press conference, when they were doing a lot of talking, they may not be mentioning his name, but they were talking about Joel Embiid, right? It's pretty clear to me their strategy is that they're going to challenge him, and whatever happened previously in this organization is not going to happen anymore. Gansey talked about how, what did he talk about yesterday with us? He talked about with Embiid, the defense. He said Joel's got to play better on defense. I asked him about back-to-backs, or Sean actually asked him about back-to-backs, and he said that we need to get, that needs to be a conversation. Yeah. There needs to be alignment. So I agree with you, Bob. I think that they're saying, hey, like, if he can't play back-to-backs, and he can't play back-to-backs, the doctors are saying he physically, with his knees, he can't do it. It doesn't seem to feel like that Bob Myers and Gansey necessarily agree with that right now.
No, it doesn't. And, and look, some of it could be from them talking to Joel Embiid and what he said at his press conference to finish the year. He said, look, this was a successful year. That came under a lot of scrutiny. But when you dove into it, what he meant was, for him, it was because his knees weren't an issue this year. I mean, you had the appendix and you had some other things going on with the oblique and all. But Embiid said when the season was done, I don't know what we did, but my knees were not an issue this year. So to them coming in, they're like, okay, well, the oblique's going to be fine. The appendix, that's kind of a different thing. The orbital fractures, all those. If his knees are fine, then we expect him, and I'm talking as if I'm them, we expect him to play 65 games or whatever it may be this year. And look, that's what's beneficial to those guys because, A, you see what you have, and you might see what you need. And if you get the most out of a Joel Embiid, okay, do you build a little bit more around him? How do you build this team surrounding him? Because he's going to be here for a couple of years. Or if he's not, and he plays really well this year, and you say, you know what, let's pull the plug. There are some teams that are interested. Let's do a total rebuild. You have Maxey, you have Edgecombe. Well, so that's why I say you can't really overthink it. The best case scenario for them is you get the absolute most out of Joel Embiid this year.
I'm curious for you, if we're all under the impression it's a challenge, or if we don't we'll use the word strong as challenge, just they're acknowledging an Embiid conversation within those four walls and that he has to change a certain way. How do you expect Embiid to respond to that, given all you know about Joel Embiid and how much you've covered him over the years?
Well, I think a lot of the frustration that comes out from Joel Embiid, and I know for a fact it's from players, it's from higher ups at times because of the things that I mentioned before, that he's kind of on his own little time clock here with different things going on. But the frustrations mostly come out of injuries. He's frustrated that he's not be able to get on the court. His teammates are frustrated that they get on a plane, the first bus leaves an opposing arena at a certain time, and then he's not on the bus to go to the airport, or he doesn't get to the airport until an hour or so after they're supposed to fly out. Well, the reasoning is that I've been told is a lot of times because he has to see about 4 or 5 different people to work on his body after games in order to ensure that he's going to be okay to play a couple nights later or the next night to try to play. So there's a lot of frustration surrounding the injuries of Joel Embiid, none more so than Embiid himself. So I think if there was a meeting had, and I don't know how in-depth it was yet, I'm sure they have, and I think they alluded to that they have talked to him, that he said, look, my knees feel good. And and it's the same thing he said to us after the season. My knees feel good. This is the first time in a long, long time they have felt good. I'm hoping that barring any other weird injuries, that I can give you as much as I can give you with a 2-year-old body, whatever he is now.
Man, it's just such a tough way to live, right? Like,
yeah,
he's late. They're late to take off because either he's not on time or he's trying to recover from the game so he can miss only one game and then play later. And it's like, I mean, reality is, and I was not a Daryl Morey fan, Bob, but when you talk about the amount of games Joel Embiid's played the last 3 seasons, 38, 19, and 39, I don't know who could have been the GM where you're winning and you're being successful as an organization when your best player that you rely on to do everything, his availability is that, which is 96 games in 3 years. It's a tough way to live.
Oh, no question. No question it's a tough way to live. And Myers, and we all know this, Myers alluded to it yesterday, and I think Gansey did it. He's going in, meaning Embiid, he's going into this offseason for the first time in a long time not needing surgery, not recovering from a surgery, not having an injury that he has to rehab from during this offseason. Think about that. Like, Paul George and I sat down during the year one time, and he was talking to me about that. He said, that's all I've done for the last 3 or 4 years is when I get into an offseason, I have to rehab, or I'm recovering, or have to have surgery. He's like, this year I can go into the offseason and work on my game. He's like, I can work on my game as a fully healthy person. And he was really excited about that. So my mind kind of shifted when Embiid, after the season got over and said, he thought it was successful because his knees were healthy. Mine started shifting to that. Wow, you got Paul George and Joel Embiid that feel like they can go into an off season and work on their game as opposed to having to work on their body. Now, look, I'm not trying to paint it like this is a great picture or anything like that. We know the limitations of this team and all of that, and the ages of Embiid and George, and we don't know how they're going to fit in with a Maxine and Edgecombe because we haven't seen it. But I just think from what Gansey and Myers are looking at is, well, if everybody's healthy and we can throw all four of them out there together, at least we can have a plan of either what we're going to do this year or what we would have to do moving forward to improve this organization.
I'm curious for you, the perception league-wide of Mike Gansey. We got a chance to hear from him, the whole thing, but taking us into the world of why he's the guy for the 76ers and what he does particularly well, what have you been able to gather across the league about Mike Gansey and what the Sixers are getting in him?
Can't find anybody that says anything wrong about Mike Gansey. To a man, everybody likes him, a very good guy, very good at his job. Ultimately, it came down to what Bob Myers wanted, though. He was put in charge of this, and Bob Myers kind of picked a clone of himself, right? He picked a 43-year-old guy, a younger guy, who has a college basketball background, like Bob Myers does, in that he played at UCLA. Gansey played at St. Bonaventure in West Virginia, a guy that came up through the rankings of scouting, of G League, of getting to know things that way, and then getting into a GM spot like Gansey did at Cleveland, similar to what Bob Myers did in Golden State. And so I think he kind of sort of picked a little bit of a clone of himself. And then Gansey comes here and says, you know what, and this is interesting, guys. He really pined for Jameer Nelson to be on staff. Can we elevate Jameer Nelson is what he asked the Sixers. Is there any way I can have him on staff? I want him on staff. The Sixers obliged because Gansey said, and Myers said, they wanted a guy with local connections. They wanted a Philly guy, even though, Jameer corrected us yesterday. He's a Chester guy that was adopted by Philly, but you know what I mean. He is a guy that knows the area. Now, I was texting with an executive in the league yesterday, and he said, I watched Gansey's press conference, really liked him a lot. I just hope he knows what he's in for in Philadelphia. So, I'm wondering, does Josh Harris, does Bob Myers, do they have this, and even Gansey to a bit, this isn't Cleveland. This isn't the Washington Commanders. This isn't the New Jersey Devils. This is Philadelphia basketball. Did they need that guy punches like Jameer Nelson? Not saying he's not qualified, so I think Jameer is. But I really felt that they felt that they needed a guy like Jameer Nelson, someone inside Philadelphia, to be here to kind of smooth over this transaction.
All right, he's done it again. I was reading your post on Jameer Nelson on Patterson earlier this morning. So good stuff on that. He was in the state championship game in the year 2000. 26 years later, he's now worked his way up, and look at him. He's an executive with the Sixers. It's a good story. It really is. Jameer's really done well for himself post-playing career. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, good guy, good head on his shoulders, and I think he's in the right position. He talked a long time ago about wanting to be an executive in the NBA. I asked him yesterday. He said, I always thought I was going to be a coach, but then this executive thing came about, and he's happy where he's at, and he's so happy to be with the Sixers, a team he grew up watching and rooting for.
Great stuff, Bob. I'll make sure he doesn't call you Bobby. All right, I got your back.
See you, Bobby.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever heard that from Ray, but
I texted you Bobby yesterday. You could have stopped it in its tracks yesterday.
Is that right? Huh. All right. I'll.
Is the invite off?
Right?
Am I not allowed to come over to the pool? Is that out?
Oh no, you're definitely.
All right,
you have an open invitation. You know that.
I appreciate that.
All right, Bob. Thanks, buddy.
All right, guys. Thanks for having.
Bob
All right,
Cooney on Pattison.com. Check him out. Great coverage.
Yeah, underlying tension between the two of us right now.
Yeah,
I haven't taken him up on that invitation yet.
You guys got to work that out. You're too busy. You're too popular. I get pool invitations all the time. I'm over people's pools all the time. I have my pool, 9 Oaks, which is not a fancy pool.
Oh, I know 9 Oaks. Back when I was delivering pizza, you loved to get that 9 Oaks order because it was always a big group of people, multiple pizzas. They're having a great day. They're going to throw you a good tip. Yeah,
they've been closed since Friday.
What?
Well, the big pool's been closed.
Why?
Paper towels flushed down the toilet caused a sewage backup.
Ah. Who?
And now I wasn't there.
Name names.
I just got the emails because people are mad. They're like, we want to go to the pool, and it's not their fault. it's not a profit. It's not a profit business. So it's like it's literally run by members.
Right.
So we can have a pool, and people are mad because they want to go to the pool, and you can't go.
Can't blame
You
them on
can
that.
go there, you just can't swim. You go to the baby pool.
Yeah. It's not really bringing the big crowds. I can only imagine those poor pizza delivery drivers around there missing out on business.
Luckily, there's a lot of parents that have pools from my kids' friends, so we kind of toggle between a lot of the pools. We get invites.
My issue is going over the bridge. That's my biggest issue.
Eh?
To go see Bob.
because he's in Jersey.
He's in Jersey.
What's the problem?
I think I got to drive. I'm not a big driver outside of going to work.
You have to drive.
I have to get over the bridge.
Well, I guess you don't want to, but you also don't look like Rodman. Does he look like a pool guy?
No.
Well, I mean that's the paleness. I don't look like a guy that could sit out in the sun for a little while.
You look like the guy at the beach that is wearing head to toe in sunscreen, has a hat, shirt, and long pants on.
Yeah.
What you're missing is the umbrella, because I won't go without the umbrella.
Your own personal one? Is it like one of those hats that goes over your head too?
Yeah. I spin it.
Yep.
No, we put it in the grounds. I got a pale family, man. You think we don't go down there with an umbrella?
You guys are experienced in the sun.
I got SPF 70.
All right, so last night, the Spurs back in the series. Ray, is it over?
Oh, it's still over. But
Still
it was
over?
good to see them get one. Good to see them get one. It's still over.
It felt like the Spurs were gonna win that last night.
Oh, I thought they were
going
to go down 3-0, and then it was going to end from there. At halftime, I was in dire straits. I was in a bad way.
Were you?
I was, because the Knicks avalanche happens in that second quarter. They scored 42 points in that second quarter, and everything they're shooting. I mean, there's been shots that OG Anunoby's hit that I just don't understand how. Like, I just watch, and I'm in absolute awe. And then you're watching Brunson navigate traffic, and I understand, the big takeaway after Game 3. Well, how good has he been in this series? Shut up. They're going to be fine. Yeah, it was good for the Spurs. It was good to see some of those shots late for the Knicks just not go. I think the moment for me that I realized that the Spurs were actually going to win the basketball game was the Knicks had one of those possessions where they were going like good to great, where they just kept swinging around. You were waiting for them to find something. And their answer was Landry Shamet driving on Wemby, and he just got absolutely swatted at the rim trying to go for a layup on Wemby. That was when I was like, all right, maybe the Knicks Magic's not here tonight. But, yeah, I still anticipate them winning the finals.
Knicks, and I'm just looking at BetParks app, 1.5 favorites, Game 4. Short line. That's Spurs line.
They're 1.5 after they were dogs at home, right, for Game 3?
Last I saw was 1.5 for 2.
Yeah.
The Knicks. Knicks were 1.5 favorites.
Oh, they were favorites at home last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I still think it's over. They're just too good. I mean, they finally lost, which was good to see.
Yes.
I don't think I could have stomached. I can't really stomach them winning at all. But them winning, 15 straight to win the title?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Probably would have hurt.
So you have Brandon Dutz. It's like, this is the best best run ever for any team ever.
Yeah, no. Let's make it go 6 so you can hit your bet and so that we don't have to talk about this being the greatest run to ever
That's
exist.
the other thing. I need one more win, and then I hit. Bam! That was minus 170, so it wasn't even money.
Knicks take it in Game 4. Spurs win one at home.
It goes 6.
Knicks winning at the Garden. And it's the chaos day because I think that's the day that there's a game at MetLife for the World Cup. So all the traffic, the transit's going to be crazy. Like last night was crazy up there for the circumstances.
Donald Trump?
Yeah. The World Cup transit problem that they're going to have up there that I still don't really understand what the problem is, but they're having some sort of a problem. I think they're stopping trains. I don't know. I told my buddy in New York, I'll see you at your bachelor party in a week and a half. I'm not coming up to visit you for a while.
No.
Until the World Cup's gone because I don't understand what they're doing with the trains up there. I'm not going up to visit.
Yeah, I would
Phillies
not.
play up there, I think, in like 2 or 3 weeks. I think they got the Mets last weekend in June. That's a trip I would like to take, but I'm not going to take. I'm not messing with transit up there.
Good win by the Spurs last night. They're going to extend that series a little bit. Back to something that Bob said about Jameer Nelson, because Jameer, he yesterday corrected, because Shams put out a tweet that said Philly native Jameer Nelson. Now, he's not from Philly. He's from Chester.
Right.
But so like with me, if the Sixers made me the general manager of the team, I wouldn't want to be called Philly native. Now I'm from the area, but I'm also from Willow Grove. So I'm not trying to pretend that I'm from Philadelphia proper, that I'm not from the city limits. So
Right.
I mean, I don't even I wouldn't care, but if I would feel weird being Philly native. I'm not a Philly native. I'm a native of the Philadelphia area.
Right.
As is Jameer. But also, Chester's one of these cities that has its own identity.
Right.
Richard Hamilton was from Coatesville. No one ever said he was from Philadelphia. Now, Coatesville's much further out than Chester. Chester's from our position right now. We're right on City Line Avenue, so we're right on the line of the city.
Yeah.
It's 13 miles away. So let's not act like Chester's in a different state, which is, I think, a lot of people say, no, he's from Chester. It's pride for where they're from, and I appreciate that about Jameer, but, yeah, 13 miles away.
Philly area native. Maybe you just need to add the area there instead. I don't know. I would probably want them to say I was from Oaks. Lord, all we got is the dog show.
That's all you got.
Yeah. I feel like I would appreciate that. We got the Expo Center. If I was named, I would want, Shams to give me that credit. Oaks native, right done.
But a lot of people did correct him in the replies. He's not from Philly. He's from. But Richard Hamilton was always from Coatesville. They never confused that.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really give you a good answer to this, other than I think that he probably should have went Chester.
Yep.
But if you're Shams, like, what's the hook here? Philly area kid. Like, I don't think his hook is like celebrating Chester.
Well, no, it's the Philadelphia area native.
Yeah. Okay. So the area. I think he's just going for the story here. So, look at the.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He's getting his clicks. Poor Shams. I know this isn't coming up in the news at noon, so man gets stopped by the security out there.
I didn't see.
He was blaming on the AirPod.
I didn't see.
Apparently, he lost an AirPod and he got told to leave by security around Madison Square Garden. They had a whole report on it during NBA Live. Yeah.
Did he swallow the AirPod?
No, but
I saw some story of some woman who's like a bodybuilder swallowed her AirPod not by mistake.
Oh, by mistake. How?
I did not see that.
I mean, I don't lift, if you can't tell by my body, but I don't understand the physics on that one.
Maybe she had it in her mouth as she was like trying to adjust her gloves or something, and someone hit her from behind. I mean, it seems, I don't know how you swallow it.
There's about 10 different cuts from that 30 seconds.
Well, there you have it.
We could do a whole drop board of it.
All right, coming up, News at Noon. And this is the News at Noon with Rodman, with the worm. All
yes,
right.
it is.
All right. What do I have here? Charles Barkley. Oh, Lord, what he said last night. Some other 76ers stuff. And, so I actually was watching this last night with Jim Salisbury on Post Game Live.
He said this to us.
Did he say the same term?
I'm pretty sure.
All right. We got that coming up next. It is the News at Noon that's coming up after this. Don't go anywhere.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What will Mike Gansey do next? I'm Sean Rodman, and Gansey has some big decisions to make, and one of those is keeping Embiid on the court. Bob Cooney of On Pass just joined us on what he believes Gansey and Myers will try to do to get Embiid to play more.
They want to stick Joel Embiid out there as much as possible. And, we're not sure if he's going to play or not. I don't think they're going to allow that if they can get the medical team on board. It's going to be like, hey, sorry you're not 100%, but we need you out there. You got to play.
Sixers have the 22nd, pick in this year's draft that is just 2 weeks away. Eagles minicamp starts today. Nick Sirianni will speak to media at 12:30. We'll keep you updated on any news from South Philly today. And the Phillies are back in action tonight. Zach Wheeler is on the mound for the Phils, and Dylan Cease gets the start for the Blue Jays. First pitch is at 7:07. This update's brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Save $50 on an air conditioning recharge at your local AAA Tire and Auto Service. Offer includes a free electronic multi-point inspection of your vehicle. Terms apply. See stores for details. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
Welcome back, Middays. Marks, 97.5, the Fanatic. Sean Brace on assignment. Ray Dunn, the Worm, Sean Rodman. Happy birthday to my mom.
Oh, happy birthday.
Patricia Marks. Happy birthday, Mom. I'll see her later on today because tonight is my daughter's dance recital, which includes the daddy-daughter dance.
Nice.
I will be doing the daddy-daughter dance with my final daughter. I've done all 3 daughters, and tonight is the night. And I will be retiring after this one right here tonight. It's over.
What are your dance moves like?
Oh, see, the problem is I don't like the first. So Gianna, the first daddy-daughter, very serious about it, knew all the moves, was critical of her because I'm like, no, like you're making mistakes, knew all the moves or whatever. Second daughter, Lena, still very much into it, knew all the. Bella, we'll figure it out. I'm not really all that worried about it. Yeah, so I actually have to. I need to cram
Gotcha.
for the whatever.
So that's the plan at 2:00 today.
Yeah, I guess. So that's coming up. And they make us go all the way up to Boyertown High School. Shout out to LaRue Dance School up in Limerick. They're the best. But, yeah, it's in Boyertown. So I got a little drive.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a hike.
Yeah. So that's later tonight, but my mom's coming. So I will see her.
Oh, that's nice.
See her then. Yes. Very nice. All right, we'll get back to it. I see we have a phone call here or two. But let's get to the news at noon without Ray. What do we got?
Welcome to Ray's life. There's no turning back. Mad Dog's losing his mind. And Big Skip Bayless with another take. Phillies blow a lead. Sixers spark the bait. Somebody's got a podcast with another terrible take. Everybody wants the news with Ray Dunn.
What's up with the microphone that he uses?
Yeah, I'm very curious about that, too.
The soup can?
Yeah.
Must be something at home, not here.
Is it his phone?
Might be. Even that's not great quality, but nice shot by Sean.
Yeah, no. Good stuff.
Speaking of quality, there is a new one that got sent in voice memos that we'll have Matt Menark make up.
Oh.
Get out.
All right. Keep doing our jobs.
Come
Come
on,
on, people.
thank you. Do
Zach
your
from
job.
Northeast Phillies sent us one today.
Thank
What
you,
up, Zach?
All right, we'll start off in the basketball world as well. And starting with Charles Barkley, always has something to say. This time he stopped paying attention while Ernie was doing the halftime show yesterday, and he kept watching Cardi B.
We've been competing with Cardi B here. We lost. Hey, I don't know if those B's, that might be Cardi B's.
Was that Kenny Smith that did the knee slapper?
I think so. It gets better every time you hear it.
Cardi D's, as she was, her top was somewhat revealing. No nipple or anything like that.
No.
But, yeah.
No, not Janet Jackson Super Bowl level, but
they did look more like D's than B's.
yeah, Cardi D is
to what Chuck was saying.
He's on national TV.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He's on ABC saying Cardi D's.
Yeah, it wasn't even. It was ABC.
It's so worth the money. You know what? Everything we said about Inside the NBA not being on television enough, this deal with ESPN, it was worth that moment. Because you know an ESPN executive was sitting somewhere losing their absolute mind over that.
But to your point, I remember Charles, he would, TNT would be done at a certain point. He's not working during the finals.
No.
He's already back in Philly. Charles comes back to Philly every summer.
Yeah.
So you'll see him around. And he'd already be done, I think.
Yeah, Valley Forge Casino's right now bleeding money because he's not around.
He's got a steakhouse coming up.
The Palladium right now is in trouble because Charles not around.
Yep, he's big City Line Avenue guy.
Yeah,
Charles. So you'll catch him around City Line Avenue sometimes,
and every golf course in town.
Yes, Charles loves life, and I appreciate that about Charles.
If I was Charles, hell yeah, I'd be living it up. I can't believe he's still working.
I mean, he's not that old, right?
I know.
But he also to live the lifestyle he wants to live in.
That's fair.
if he retired today, he would still probably be okay. But to live the lifestyle that he lives, you got to keep making money.
That's fair. That's fair. I just mean just going through the entire workflow of the season. Like, he could pop up and do special appearances. I'm sure he'd get a nice chunk of change.
But he didn't even work this year, remember?
Well, yeah, not much. Not much. We didn't see a lot of
The first 3 quarters of the season, he wasn't around. People were like, "Hey, we haven't seen him in 2 months." Yeah, they didn't have him do anything.
And yet, Cardi D's. That's what we got out of this season. I couldn't believe she was performing halftime of that game.
I guess. I mean, I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know they had halftime acts at the. That's the Garden.
Yeah, it's the finals. It's the Garden. You'd imagine they go all out. I just couldn't believe it.
All right. What else do you have there, Rodman?
All right, next up, we'll stay in the basketball world, but Jeff Teague on his podcast may have suggested a different landing spot for John, one of your favorite Sixers targets this summer. That being LeBron James, staying on the West Coast, and he'll be potentially teaming up with a familiar face or faces.
Y'all see the Warriors, the possibilities?
For what?
LeBron, but they said to get Bron, they're going to try to recruit AD. Because they're trying to push Bron out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be going to say I don't know nothing about nothing, but from what I've seen, that looks crazy. I'll be so hyped. The NBA do that. LeBron, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, and Draymond.
That's fire.
Anthony
Jimmy
Davis.
Butler. But they said in the trade they'd have to send Jimmy.
Oh,
Jimmy and the
They
number
say
11 pick.
To who?
In the future pick.
To the Wizards?
Yeah, to get AD. Jimmy, another player, this year's pick, and then a future pick. Yeah, go ahead and do that.
I'm something. We'll get some shooters in
Jimmy
free
ain't
agency.
Jimmy ain't about to rock with y'all. They're playing this year. Yeah, he gonna rehab and get up out of there anyway. LeBron gotta go with
He
AD,
has
though.
to. Yeah, he
that's the
has
only way
to,
he gonna stay
bro.
healthy.
All right. I mean, like, didn't the Wizards just trade for Anthony Davis to kind of be their centerpiece to try to make the playoffs? They're going to trade him for Jimmy Butler and a draft pick?
If they don't think that you're going to be able to build in time for Davis's window, 33 years old. Davis would be the young fella in that group.
Didn't they just trade for him?
They did just trade for. They also trade for Trae Young too. I don't think they're trading Anthony Davis, but the Warriors still another name that they've circled around LeBron James.
All right. I mean, I guess I'm bearing the lead, which is LeBron James to the Warriors to play with Steph, and I think Anthony Davis is going to stay in the East, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis could stay there. Maybe that makes the whole thing fall apart, but the idea of those four and Anthony Davis being the young guy at 33 years old is a hilarious last gasp for
Bron playing with Steph Curry would be
awesome.
Very awesome.
Yeah, be entertaining as hell.
Yep.
That keeps you awake. You'll stay open. You'll get a Peacock account for that. Yeah, I'll sign up for a 10 o'clock start.
Nope.
Now you're anti?
No, I'm not anti. I'm not paying to watch a West Coast basketball game.
You got Prime. You'll watch on Friday
You'll
nights.
see enough. You'll see enough of them as it is. Do they win?
No.
Or they win more?
They win more for sure. Yeah.
Do they win? I mean, they're certainly more relevant. If you're the Warriors, you have no chance to win anyway. Why wouldn't you do it?
Right. Oh,
Ron's been trying to get to Golden State for years now.
He's been trying to play with Steph for a while.
Yep.
I don't think they
I
win,
love it.
But I'm in for it. You kidding me?
I love it.
Sign me up for that offseason.
But he's going to the Sixers.
That's right.
So that's not going to happen.
Correct.
Going to the
Ronnie is going to be teaching a class at Malvern Prep.
All right. Finally, Rodman.
All right. Finally, in case you missed it last night, after the game on Phillies Post-Game Live with our friends at NBC Sports Philly, Jim Salisbury asked what he was doing, and he wasn't in Toronto covering the team, and Ricky Bo kind of told everybody what he did today.
And one other thing, I heard you talking about Jim Salisbury in the break. You wanted to know what he did today. Apparently, Jim said, and this I quote, he spanked his tomatoes.
All right, well, let's get off the air after that.
I have to Google that one just to see what that meant.
I don't want to know.
Well, there has to be.
I've been watching too much Love is Blind.
We're going to roll out.
Now, Jim did clarify. He said that apparently when you spank tomatoes, it's to get the pollen off, to let them breathe and grow a little bit more.
Yeah, obviously. Everyone knows about spanking
tomatoes. Yes, common knowledge, of course, Jim.
Yeah, Jim said this with us, though.
See, I don't remember that. I asked him about the tomato plants.
He did. He said this on Friday.
Now, my tomatoes would never fire me. They love ownership. I take good care of them. I talk to them. I spank them. And I weed around them. I stake them. And I have about 26 plants, and they're doing great.
He's just talking about tomato spanking left and right.
He is obviously very into the tomatoes right now. All right, that's the news at noon. John Clark talking about Love is Blind.
Yeah, that's wild, too. That really got buried in the whole tomato spanking.
That's the lead for me.
Love is Blind.
What is it?
It's a reality TV show. People go on, and you can't see the other person. You develop the connection with them without seeing them. They were casting in Philly. I had half a dozen people send me the casting form to fill out for Love is Blind Philadelphia.
They didn't accept you?
And what stopped you?
The notion of the whole thing.
Right.
You know, could you imagine, and this is the tough thing about Love is Blind, and it would be a difficult, wall for me to climb above. If the grand reveal happens, there's been moments in the show where the grand reveal happens, and someone looks across, and it's like, oh, that's who I've been talking to. And it's not exactly I'm so excited to see this person. It's that's crushing. I don't want to be on either side of that. I don't want to be the shallow guy that the wall comes down and I'm like, oh, really? Or on the other side of that, the woman's shallow with me and looks across like, oh, that's not what I thought I signed up for here.
It's
a tough premise.
This is where they kind of talk through a cubby, right? Or
right,
something,
they talk through a cubby.
Like a wall.
You can't see the person, but you're having these deep, meaningful
For how
conversations.
long?
A couple episodes.
And then what? You have to get married afterwards?
There's an engagement at some point. I don't think it's engaged at first sight.
No, I think they have this big party or whatever, and all the couples kind of meet. I think that's how it is.
Think so. So I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched Love is Blind since the pandemic.
Okay.
I've moved off of Love is Blind. If you're looking for reality TV shows from me that fall under this microscope, Too Hot to Handle is one that I've watched quite a bit of. And Love Island's back. And I haven't gotten through the first episode yet, but that's one that I'll binge this summer for sure. I'm more of the couples that can actually see each other type of thing.
Gianna Nina Giabelli was on season 1. She has 1.9 million followers on
I believe
Instagram.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly have never heard of it before, but I've heard the Love Island thing.
Yeah, Love Island's great.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you take insanely hot people and just drop them in Fiji and see what happens.
With cameras. I'd be shocked.
You just see what happens. And the great thing is I watched the first episode, and it's these people describing what they're looking for and the whole thing, and you're just shaking your head. You're like, man, to be this hot and dumb, it would be awesome. There's actually local people. Cape May, there's a guy from Cape May on the show this year, and I think he was a cop somewhere around here also on the show. And a girl from Philly that lives in L.A.
Really?
But there's a local flavor to Love Island this year.
Oh, God.
I got to say, I enjoyed last year. Last year, I enjoyed it. I don't know how much I feel about this cast through 50 minutes of watching.
Sometimes maybe you have to just get used to them.
Right. Yeah.
Takes a couple episodes.
Well, and then the bombshells come in. Then they bring new people in to break up the couples. It's a really, really fascinating
you
watch.
Sit at home and watch this?
Yes,
or is
absolutely.
This at the bar watching it?
No, I watch this at home. Now, it started more as a wow. A lot of women are talking about this. I should watch this. This is good fodder. This is film.
You love it.
Yeah, and then I really dove into the whole mentality of it. I'm like, this is insane.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, I mean, attractive people in bathing suits for an hour. Yeah, I'll sit down and watch that.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't find that anywhere else. You could never find attractive.
I mean, I
people
could
in
go out in
bathing
real
suits.
life and go to the beach, but that's a drive away.
Back when I was in high school, the swimsuit issue was everybody waited for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue to come out because that was the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, now it's just attractive people in bathing suits
everywhere,
falling in love.
Yeah.
Pick your favorite show. Love Island. I enjoy it.
All right. Well, there you go, Ray. As you know, that I've been I got back into Facebook.
You did.
It's at John Marks Media. You can follow me across all social media platforms. Right. Well, I think just try to look for me on Facebook. I don't know if that's the handle.
I could go look for you right now. Have we become friends on Facebook?
I don't think so.
I don't use it a ton, but
because I had 2 accounts and I don't know where the one account came from. So then I couldn't because my Instagram was linked with the Facebook. I had to create a Facebook account because if you want to monetize your Instagram, you have to have a Facebook account that links to it.
That's the whole meta world there.
But now, because I guess I created a Facebook account, but then I didn't do anything with it, and then I created a new one. So there's 2 of them. Anyway, so I'm fascinated with the difference between the Instagram and the Twitter and Facebook. Facebook is very odd because the videos that they promote on Facebook, the reels that they promote on Facebook, are a lot of fake videos, staged videos that they're just literally making it's almost they know it's fiction going in to do it, which is really weird. So anyway, but you get a lot of these scammers. I've talked about this on the show before. You get a lot of these scammers. So on Twitter, typically the spam that I get on Twitter is hey, click on my link and see me naked. You know, it's not like no,
Classic,
I'm not falling for it. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, sure. You fall for it once or twice. You have to change your password a few times. What?
No, but they just want you to, like, if I went right now, and also the other one I get is right now are people's account. Like Marcus Hayes had his account taken over. It's like, hey, vote for me here. I'm nominated
the podcasting thing. Yeah, everybody's been nominated for a podcasting award.
Right.
Don't you think you would get a text from that person? Who is going to these and this is, I'm sorry if Marcus Hayes fell for this. I don't want to make this all about Marcus Hayes, but I've seen too many media people out there that have fallen for this because I get the DM from them, and I'm like, this is who is going around trying to collect votes through Twitter DMs for a podcast word? How'd you fall for this? The first time I saw it, and I know someone who fell for it. Well, a good friend of mine I respect, well, I was like, how do you fall for this?
But at first, I forget the first person that sent it. I thought it was somebody that maybe was out of work. It was somebody that used to work with at CBS Sports Radio that had when they
I guess
they got like they had to because they ceased operations and they went to Westwood, but whatever. And it was like, oh, all right. Well, like I'm like, hang on a second. Yeah, let me check and see what's going on. And then since then, you've seen that.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a lot of people that are. So, like, for example, and I've talked about this on the air, so now I'm playing along, so I want to see what the scam is.
Of course.
So I get somebody that's from Willow Grove that has mutual friends of mine that went to my high school. And this dude went to my high school. He's 5 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, when I get the friend request, because they don't follow you, they have to request you being friends on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, so like, yeah, I'll accept it. They went to my school. It must be a listener or something. Mm-hmm. So then a couple days later, I get the message like, hey. And it's like, oh, hey, how are you? And then right away, it's like, all right, this is going to be something. So this person had his account taken over probably because they
gave out information.
So I had this guy this morning that wants to give me, because he cares about me so much, wants to give me $2,000. He just needs my Cash App, a picture of my Cash App. So do you have Cash App? If you don't have Cash App, you can give me this or give me this. I'm like, I have Cash App. So he wants me to go to my Cash App and, like, take a screenshot of, like, the profile page and then send it to him.
Right.
And he's showing me exactly whoever this person is, showing me exactly what wants me to send him. Now, obviously, I know it's a scam, so I'm playing along. So then I start messing with him big time. This is what I'm doing with my life. You're talking about watching.
I was going to say, I probably spent about the same amount of time watching Love Island as you spent texting this stranger.
But what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to see what the ultimate scam is.
Right.
Right, and there's multiple ones out there. So I guess they're able to, if you send them this part of your Cash App, they're able to access your account.
Yeah, somehow
if you
back
do
way into your bank.
Because I Googled it, and it's like that's how they can access it or whatever. So this person's trying to, and I'm like, hang on a second. I'm like, you want me to do all this stuff? I need to make sure you're who you're saying you are. So where did you go to school? So now I start peppering them with questions. And the person obviously can't answer it, right?
No idea.
So he sends me a picture of the driver's license of the real person. So this person that I don't know but grew up near me had sent this person their driver's license. So now this person saying, this is me, I promise. Here's my, he didn't call it driver's license, called it something else because they're obviously not from this country. And it was like, oh man, like now it's went from where I'm just messing with them to being like, holy crap, this guy's got his driver's license and all this other stuff.
And you can only imagine what you can access with the amount of information that he has.
Dude. So that's where it got real. And then the person blocked me because that's when I started getting aggressive.
That's too many questions.
Yeah. Like I started getting aggressive and I'm like, all right, like I'm going to call the cops like on you. And they boom, blocked me.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, so there's a number of different scams. It's really interesting how they try to get to you on Facebook. Much different from Instagram and whatever else.
Right. Like, the only thing I really get on Instagram, I've told you this before on the air, is that there's new one, and it stopped recently, which is good. But there would be the, hey, I met you at the bar tonight, from like this attractive woman that got the profile. It's like 1:45 in the morning, and I'm like, man, I was speaking tonight. I was rolling. I must have just absolutely wooed this woman. And then you think about it, it's like, I had 6 beers and talked to one girl. I knew her. There's no way this girl's interested in me. And it's like, wait a second. They're trying to get information. It's like, oh, yeah, add me at this whatever. And it's like, oh, yeah, if I click that link, everything I own is taken from me.
You'll be fine. Yeah.
But they're smart. I would attack a guy like me at that time. 1:45 in the morning, I'm walking home from a bar. I'm headed home alone. You're like, oh yeah, let's see if we can get this guy's money.
So like
It's a great scam.
this guy right here told me I need the agent Scott James is the one that's going to deliver the money to me. And Rodman, this was like $50,000, and I negotiated it up from 25.
That's good. It's good by you.
This stranger on Facebook wants to give me $25,000, and I said no, I need 50, and they agreed to it. They send you this agent. It's always that's the code word. It's like an agent is going to contact you, and then you need to click the link. I'm like, oh, sure, I'm going to click this link. Absolutely not. And then, this person, Gregory, says, I had the Trojan virus on my previous page. I hope you're not bothered with that. But I have your grant offer. I'm going to deliver it. And I'll be like, can you deliver it in 5s and 10s in cash? And they're like, yes, of course.
No ones?
No ones. Well, I may have been able to negotiate that.
I'd take some ones. You look up Agent Scott James, you get all these news stories. Cedar Springs woman out thousands after likely scammer posed as aunt. It's like, you were granted $150,000 through the government. An opportunity to apply for it. Agent James Scott Larry. That poor guy, by the Herb.
Uncle Jamie. But so somebody in my family, I'll tell the story coming up. Some of my family got scammed.
Bad.
No, because I caught it. It was my dad. I won't even. So I have to tell the story. Yeah.
Oh.
Luckily, it wasn't for a lot of money. There's people that get scammed for a lot of money by doing this.
You're like life-changing.
Rodman, did you get scammed?
No, never.
Never?
At least not yet.
Okay.
Or to my knowledge.
610-632-0975. Davis Honda text line, name, location, scam. Voice memo, name, location, scam. Phone number, 610-632-0975. Back to the Eagles. We have some interesting Eagles comments, as Nick Sirianni's supposed to talk today as well. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What's next for the Sixers? I'm Sean Rodman. The new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, spoke for the first time yesterday, and Gansey joined Middays with Marks as well on the type of players he wants on his roster.
Especially in the NBA at this level, you got to have someone that has an elite skill. Like, how are they getting on an NBA floor? But I think the intangibles are just as important. Can they do other things to help you win? Obviously, the character of the person and his work ethic.
The first opportunity for Gansey to add to his roster will be in 2 weeks in the NBA draft. The Sixers have the 22nd overall pick. Phils are back in action today with Zach Wheeler on the mound. He gets to start for the Phils, and Dylan Cease gets to start for the Blue Jays. First pitch is at 7:07. And minicamp starts today for the Birds. Before practice, Nick Sirianni will speak to the media, scheduled around 12:30. Eagles also have a joint practice with the Patriots on August 19th and 20th, according to the Patriots. Spurs beat the Knicks last night, and now down 2-1 against the Knicks in the NBA Finals. This update's also brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit madd.org. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
the Eagles memo from earlier? We'll get to that in a second.
Yes, we can get to that in 1 second.
All right, get to that in a second. Real fast with this, my poor dad. So I was actually on the air, and I start getting all these messages on my phone. Now, if you're on the air, you'll look at your phone, or this often is your internet.
Right.
So, you're doing stuff on it. But I just started getting all these messages, and it was saying, you've changed your billing address. It was from AT&T. Changed your billing address. So I'm like, what is this? So I'm thinking it's just a mistake or something. And so then I get to commercial. And I don't know if so I end up calling my mom, and I'm like, what's going on? Are you guys are you changing stuff? Because my parents are on my cell phone bill or whatever. So I'm like, you guys changing stuff or whatever? So then they called my dad, right? They called the phone. And I don't know if it came up spam or whatever.
Right.
Do you ever answer the phone if it's an unrecognized number?
No.
Ever.
No.
Sometimes if it looks like it could be a doctor's number, it's a local area code, and it's like, is that my doctor's number? Maybe 5%, 1%.
Makes sense. I'm also from the generation that doesn't like to be on the phone in general. So
Right.
Someone calls me, I don't recognize the number. That's a perfect excuse to say, nah, I'm good. Thanks, though. Leave a message.
Right. And now you can actually pick it up. They can start leaving a message, and you can enter in and be like,
Right.
oh. So it makes it even more convenient. But he answered it, and they said, hey, this is such and such from AT&T. We had a problem last month with your bill. There was a lot of interference on the line, and you're actually entitled to a refund. Oh, great. Okay, we're going to send you a code to validate your account. Can you read me the numbers? So you know what they did.
Yep.
They went into the account, and they said send a link to your phone and then give the number, and then you enter whatever number goes to your phone. You enter it in there, and then you can create a new password. So, I mean, really, it's
genius.
It is. It's smart.
Yeah.
Because anybody that isn't thinking this, I could be getting scammed.
Right. Oh, my gosh, you're going to give me money?
You're sending something to my account that's validating this phone call, and then you can get your refund.
Yeah.
So he gave him the code. Boom. Right away, they're ordering iPhones to this address in Providence, Rhode Island.
Ooh.
So, I got to go back on the air, so I can't solve the problem in one break. But by the time I got off the air, I was able to call AT&T, and they had shut everything down. They didn't get shipped out or anything like that. But
and that
yeah.
I know that the headline here is getting scammed and the whole thing. That is such a pain when something's happening and you're on the air. We're not working a coal mine. I'm not saying we have these ridiculously difficult jobs, but when your mind, because I can imagine your mind in that moment is absolutely nowhere near whatever Eagles topic that you're, currently going back and forth about, or you're not exactly totally locked in on
Carson Wentz sucks. Get him out of here.
Or what was Herb's latest umpiring adventure? You're not locked in on that. You're so much how much money is being drained from my credit cards right now going to iPhones. I've been sitting here and life stuff's happening and you're trying to, Bryce Harper should have ran out that ball to first base. Or no kidding, I'd rather Embiid be available tonight. It's I care, but the show doesn't stop for anything. So the sweating that you're doing while trying to multitask, oh, that's brutal. That's horrible.
Luckily, we were able to shut it down. So just please, all right, don't give anybody any information. If someone contacts you, no. They'll never contact you asking you for information. Email? Because, listen, I've seen some emails where I almost fell for it, right? Where you look at it and you're like, hang on a second. What is this?
Well, and I've told you this about the dating apps. If it's too hot to be true,
it is.
It's too hot to be true.
If it's too good to be true, it normally is.
Right, and then all of a sudden that account disappears. It's I knew you weren't that interested in me.
Davis on the text line. What do we got, Robin?
All right. One person checking in saying, my neighbor who passed away last year was scammed 2 years prior at the age of 90. Scammer called him and said he had his grandson in custody and needed $7,000 to release him.
You hear that a lot.
The scammer knew his grandson's name. He paid the guy. It was awful.
It's terrifying, especially in the middle of the night, getting woken up by one of those calls. You're not thinking. All you're thinking about is the safety. You're preying on the person's emotions about the people they care about. It's a really twisted, demented thing to do.
I've heard your grandson has destroyed property. If you don't pay me to do that, then they'll be arrested and everything else.
Right.
God, man.
Yeah, it's a terrifying proposition.
I've even worked in restaurants where it's like, I'm from DoorDash. There's something wrong with your tablet. I need you to send like this email and stuff like that. Where like they'll call restaurants and try to get their bank information because and say that they're DoorDash.
And why would you suspect somebody calling? That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that is.
I was thinking about it. The last time I really was answering phone calls without knowing the phone number was when I was job hunting, like right end of college, like going out, like because I was applying to things, and every time the phone rings, you're hoping it's someone telling you like, "We want an interview, you want a job." And I was on one of those like your car's extended warranty lists.
Oh, I love the extended warranty.
Every day for like 40 days was, oh, it's a phone call. Oh, hello. Do I have an interview with 97.5 The Fanatic? We're calling about your car's extended warranty. And like my friends were like, it became a bit of like me being excited to answer the phone and me inevitably cursing out some sort of AI bot that's telling me, oh, your Toyota, the 2002 Toyota Avalon needs a bunch of things done to it. I'm like, yeah, no kidding, it does.
Yeah, the auto warranty, what is it? This like school loan. I'll get a lot of loan.
Yeah.
Whatever. I used to get the Viagra calls.
Oh.
Where it wasn't a recording. It would be like, you need more medication? My name is Bob. Do you need more medication? Like, something tells me your name's not Bob. Do you need medication? $5. Seriously. Dude, yeah, no. They like Viagra Cialis. I'm trying to sit on the phone, and they would call from every number. One time my phone rang, and it was my number calling me.
I had that happen to me.
It was some scammer on the side.
It's insane. That's insane what they're able to pull off.
Oh, man, it sure is. So don't answer the phone. Don't fall for it.
Or
tell your parents. Or fall for it and do it.
No, or, curse them out over the phone. I don't answer the phone, but if I were and I were to start feeling like the scam's coming, why not just curse them out?
Yeah, so what's the worst scam? I've heard some, I'm talking about minor stuff here, but who was it here that said their grandmother was scammed out of like $150,000?
Whoa.
Was it BP? It was somebody that said that a family member was scammed out of big-time money. I mean, God, this person on Facebook that's trying to get me to send my Cash App, which I don't even have, so they can give me money, had the guy's driver's license picture of the profile that he took over. It's insane. All right, coming up next, back into the Eagles. Jeff Mosher's going to join us at 1 o'clock, right? A lot to talk about with him. But this offense with Sean Mannion, what is it going to look like? But also, is it fair to have real question marks about the Eagles' passing offense? We have a couple voice memos on that. We'll get back into it. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Got some.
the Worm, Sean Rodman. Our buddy Jeff Mosher, Inside the Birds Philly Voice, coming up at 1 o'clock. Some voice memos. We'll tell you what Nick Sirianni, when he speaks, what he says about the A.J. Brown situation. Brad Chalfant has something on a story being scammed. Brad, go ahead, man. What's up?
Yeah, I have a great story. I hope I can tell it quickly.
Sure.
I'm a CPA, and I was working on some tax returns, and I finished a rather tough one. It was about 9:30 at night, and I really felt good. I exhaled. I get a phone call, and he goes, I won't give my last name, sir. We have the sheriff coming out to arrest you for not filing your tax return. And I almost asked him if it was Barney and Andy, and I decided to play along instead. And I go, and it sounded like a confused old man, which I am anyway.
Huh.
And I said, oh, no, what do I do? What do I do? He says, well, sir, we can work something out. If you have a credit card, we can put $15,000 towards the account.
Oh, my God.
And you'll be okay. I said, oh, my God. Okay, come on over. I'll give you the money. He says, oh, no. We can do it over the phone with your credit card. So anyway, I won't go into all the details, but I took about 5 minutes until I found the credit card. I was cleaning my desk, and as he started to get set up, I go, oh, I found it. And he says, okay, sir, what's the number of your credit card? I said, where's the number? He said, on your credit card. I said, okay, where on my credit card is the number? And he started getting frustrated again, and as he's ready to give up, I said, oh, wait, I found it. And he says, okay. So I said, 1-800. No, sir, that's the phone number.
Oh, man.
So I'm arguing with him. I said, you asked for a number on my credit card. This is the number I had. I'm actually arguing with him. And he's getting really upset. And then I go, oh, I found it. I said, here's the number, 4. He says, sir, I can't. No, really. I was the fourth one to get a Discover card. And he says, do you want the whole number? He says, yes, sir. So I go real slowly, 15 zeros and a 4. At this point, he's fed up. So he's ready to hang up. I go, can I ask you a question? I go to my normal voice. I said, you work so hard to get this money. Wouldn't you rather contribute to society instead of sucking off the rear end of it like an infected tick? And he starts cursing me out.
I bet.
That's you, UMF. You, God, yeah. And I go, yeah, now I'll give you my credit card number.
Funny story, Brad. Yeah, you got messed with him a little bit.
I can see you doing that.
Yep. Yeah, I got to stop because somehow it's going to end up costing me because this person's going to be like, all right, I'm going to get this guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get tricked, and then they're going to have possession of my.
I can't see you getting tricked, though.
I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, it's just like
at this stage of life.
Is there more productive things I could be doing with my life than Gregory Frick, who's trying to give me $25,000?
I watched 50 Minutes of Love Island the other night. You're telling me there are more productive things I could have done with my time?
Good point. All right. Earlier we asked, what's the biggest question mark that you have with the Eagles coming into the season? And we said, is it fair to say that the passing offense, you can even include Jalen Hurts as a big part of that, is a major question mark heading into 2026. Is that the voice memo that we have right here?
Yes, this is Phil from Phoenixville.
Phil, go ahead.
What's going on, guys? It's Phil from Phoenixville, project manager. I think you got to look at the passing offense as a question mark. You just lost a perennial 1,000-yard receiver. You got to look at how you're going to fill that void. We all knew the writing was on the wall with AJ, and, good riddance for him after everything that came out. I think it's definitely fair to say to have a question mark on that. Where are you going to go with that? I think Devontae could step up, but, success in the game, who are you going to fall to after that? I think the run game will be just fine this year. I think that leads to good passing, but I think the question mark for sure is definitely on the passing game, no doubt.
All right, so some people will just say that's the quarterback. Like Ray, you were saying the passing game's absolutely a big question mark, and the biggest question mark, but you weren't putting it solely on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts.
No. I mean, I think there's a lot of factors around him. I mean, you mentioned Devontae Smith in that voice memo, and for sure I feel good about Devontae Smith. I wouldn't own the Kelly Green jersey I have if I didn't. But outside of that, who's to? And I think that's a massive question for this offense right now. You also have, we've been talking about moving off of Dallas Goedert for a while, because at some point he will show age. At some point, we've seen him miss time. What do they have? They brought in a ton of tight ends. I know we got the Stour Hour here, and we're going to look forward to doing that throughout the year, but that's another question mark. And this offensive line, for all it's been for the last couple of years and for really a long time here in Philadelphia, they got a new coach, and they got a lot of question marks about their health from a season ago. On top of all these people, a new offensive coordinator that's ever called plays. You can put a lot of this at the feet of the quarterback ultimately, but when you talk about the biggest question marks going into a season, we're at a crossroads because that's what's been reported as this organization's feeling towards the quarterback. We're at a crossroads for that, and he's got all those changing personnel and questions about personnel and coaching around him. Yeah, I would say it would be the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receivers, offensive line, pass protection, quarterback, Sean Mannion, never calling plays before, brand new offense, whatever. I had said that I'm most worried. Ultimately, I think the passing game is going to be the passing game. I don't envision Jalen Hurts being a guy that's throwing for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. Actually, look at the numbers last year. They were pretty good. Interception to pass ratio and things like that. Yeah. He threw some passing touchdowns. I'm just more worried that if you can't run the ball, that's the bread and butter of this offense. It sets up everything else. Saquon Barkley in 2024 set up everything else. Last year, the Eagles had 5 losses. How many of those games do you think Jalen Hurts threw the ball 30 times or more in those 5 losses?
5?
Correct. Now, some may say, well, when you're behind in games, you're going to throw the ball more because you're coming from behind. If you look at the losses, really, it's loss to Denver, 21-17. Yep. Denver came back in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. But you only had 17 points. He threw it 338 times. The Giants, they got behind early there, but he threw it 33 times. Against Dallas, when they lost 24-21, he threw it 39 times, so only 21 points. Against the Bears, it wasn't a blowout. They scored 15 points. Against the Chargers, that's when he had all the interceptions. He threw it 40 times. My only point is that the way to win if you're the Eagles, or how they've won before, is Jalen does all the stuff. He gets first downs. He's able to extend plays and extend drives with things like that. But you're running the ball. You're not predictable in the passing game, and you're really balanced. Man, you got to be balanced. So I'm curious to see what the passing offense under the new coordinator actually looks like, because you would be nuts to say, hey, new offense, I'm coming in here. Jalen, you're throwing the ball 40, 45 times. I think you're going to see the same balanced type offense. The Eagles aren't stupid. They have Saquon Barkley. How's the offensive line look? If the offensive line isn't healthy and isn't one of their strengths on their team, the Eagles aren't winning the Super Bowl this year.
And maybe this is a credit to Saquon Barkley, given the health of that offensive line a season ago. Still ran for 1,100 yards, and I think offensively they ended up 16th in rushing yards per game a season ago. If you have a very dead average rushing game, that's a concern for us knowing how they've won before. But if you have an average rushing game and you're telling me you have a quarterback that you're paying $50 million per year, that should be enough. It should be, which is why that becomes a question about the passing game. If you're just average in terms of rushing the football, the bread and butter, it doesn't have to be that you're a top 5 passing offense, but you have to be good enough as a passing offense where we're not talking about you being a bottom 10 offense in football. Like, that's why it's a big question mark for me. If they're not healthy and as an offensive line, they're struggling to run the football, and they can't win games because they're not able to throw the football, then we're going to have bigger questions come next year. I think that's fair.
Rodman, the Eagles won 11 games last year. In those 11 wins, how many times did Jalen Hurts throw the ball 30 or more times?
In the wins?
In the wins. So we just said every loss he threw it 30 or more times. In the wins, how many times did he throw it 30 times?
1.
2. So you can see the equation, right? Like, for example, the Raiders game, they didn't need to throw it. They threw it 15 times. So like that
he was out by the fourth quarter.
That one shouldn't even count. But a lot of the other games, you look at it, 23, 22. He threw 32 times against the Rams, and they needed everything to win that game. 24. These are all wins. The formula is run the ball, play off of the run, don't turn the ball over, and then play great defense. And we complain when he doesn't turn the ball over because he doesn't throw it.
Right. And that was the tough thing about last year. You talked about the touchdown totals. They were good in the red zone. It's just they were going 3 and out so much. You're not seeing these totals of passes because they didn't have a ton of plays. They weren't
All right,
on the field.
Coming up, Jeff Mosher, Philly voice inside the Birds, the latest on what he thinks this offense and everything else. Don't go anywhere. Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What will Gainsey do? I'm Sean Rodman, and what will he do next? He talked about what will Embiid being back next year, and potentially didn't really have too much glowing to say about will he be here, will he not, as well. Bob Cooney on pass and joined us, and he believes Gainsey and Myers will try to get Embiid to play on the court a little bit more next season as well. The Sixers do have the 22nd overall pick in the year's draft, 2 years from today. The Eagles minicamp starts today. Nick Sirianni just spoke to the media a little bit on A.J. Brown, so we'll have that coming up a little bit later on as well. And Jeff Mosher joins us next. Phils back in action tonight. Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Phils and Dylan Cease for the Blue Jays. First pitch is at 7:07. This update is brought to you by True Green. Get 50% off lawn care this summer with True Green's biggest sale of the year. Sign up at truegreen.com by June 23rd and take your weekends back. Restrictions apply. See site for details. I'm Sean Rodman on the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Dawn returns tomorrow. 1 o'clock hour brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restorations. Great teams stick together. So does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration Championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com or call them 610-831-HAIR. And the Davis Honda text line you hear us talk about a lot. Feel the Davis difference at Davis Honda in Burlington. As we enter when does the list phase start of the offseason?
It's very
after the mini camps were wrapped up.
Yeah, like 2 days from now.
So next week we'll start because Jeremy Fowler rolls out the list at each position.
Oh, his list? No, we got a while for him. He's got a month.
But they start.
Beginning of July. Yeah, his list specifically is beginning of July. But the list will start to come out from all the different publications very soon.
Chris Sims already did his list.
Oh, did he? Jalen Hurts 45th?
You were off. No, what was he? Do you remember, Robin? 16th?
Yeah, I think it was around 16th or so.
Or
It wasn't
20 something?
20. Oh,
I don't know.
man.
I'm kind of talking it out in my out loud.
Sims, quarterback ranking. I can't believe I missed that.
Oh no, it's as bad as you think it is.
I missed Schwarber going back to lead off, and Carson Beck at 43. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's go down.
Because he releases them in dribs and drabs digitally.
Of course. Because everyone's dying.
Everybody wants it all together, but you have to wait.
Right. Yeah, I wanted the whole thing. Oh, man, where is – I moved –
Do you not
Hurts
have
is 21.
21, okay. Yeah,
21.
I knew 16 didn't sound fair.
C.J. Stroud tried to tank a game for his team ahead of him. Malik Willis,
Is ahead of
longtime starter, ahead of Jalen Hurts. Daniel Jones with one leg ahead of Jalen Hurts. Brock Purdy.
So what I had said was, what's the criteria? Is it just who you would want going in to next year? And I wasn't going to spend 5 seconds on trying to hear his criteria because it's nonsense anyway. No matter what he's going to say, you can't take him seriously. Chris Sims. But yeah, you're going to put Malik Willis. You'd rather so seriously, if you were just doing okay this year, you'd rather have Malik Willis than Jalen Hurts. What are we doing? You're still able to do what you can do without being ridiculous.
Yep.
That's where you take any credibility out, to where you can think Malik Willis is going to have a good season, but you can't put him over a guy that was a Super Bowl MVP 2 years ago and won 11 games last year. I mean, come on. And that's where the line is. That's unfortunately where, because, Bill and I have a club, a Jalen Hurts club.
Yeah, the objective.
We're the objective club Hurts.
Yeah, of course.
Sean's in Club Hurts. We're objective Club Hurts, to where we don't need to be Chris Sims. I also don't need to be Sean, where I'm wearing a T-shirt and I'm saying, oh, Jalen Hurts is disrespected. He's the greatest. No, there's a reason why A.J. Brown wanted to leave, and I don't think it had to do with the masseuse.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid Brace is going to put me through a table after the talk about passing offense today.
Let's go to our ace. He joins us live on Zoom. His name is Jeff Mosher. Inside the Birds, fantastic Eagles coverage with Greg Cosell and Checo and a staff of thousands. And, of course, Philly voice. He's all over the place writing for the Philly voice. What's up, Mosh?
What's up, my friend? How you doing?
So Jalen Hurts, and this kind of came out of nowhere, but Jalen Hurts is very difficult to rank because everybody recognizes what he's done in Super Bowls, and he makes the playoffs, and he wins games. But then when you actually have to put that, you have to quantify that and be like, okay, where do you put him in a quarterback ranking? It's difficult, but he's ahead of Malik Willis and things like that. That's ridiculous. But is he a top 10 guy? I don't know if you do quarterback lists. You should. Is he a top 10 guy, Jalen Hurts?
I should. Come on. The beautiful thing that Adam Kaplan and I have started Inside the Birds is to be level-headed and objective and not try to find a day in June where there's nothing and come up with a quarterback ranking just because.
Right.
It's hard to do, honestly, because, I think it's hard to do in every sport because you have a lot of players who play the same position who do it differently. It's like, first of all, there's comparing players of different generations. Like trying to compare Wilt Chamberlain to Patrick Ewing to Shaq to Wembanyama is just like, how do you do it, right? Yeah, how do you do it? And then you got to compare players who play the same position but do it differently. I mean, you wouldn't compare Saquon Barkley to Kyron Williams to Travion Henderson. They're different. And then so quarterbacks really fall into that mold of there are so many different styles of quarterbacks. I don't do a ranking. I have no problem with anybody who ranks Jalen Hurts anywhere from 6 to if you wanted to get to 13, I'd probably, it depends on what your list looks like, wouldn't argue it with you. I think that the part of the difficulty is not really being able to see the future and seeing how the rest of his career is going to turn out. 3 years ago or 4 years ago, after the Rams had won their championship with Stafford, the next year he got hurt. They were 6-10, and everybody was bouncing Stafford out of their top 10, top 15. He stinks. He's old, and now he's maybe top 3 again. So it's really tough. But the Chris Sims, I don't know how you put a guy in Malik Willis, right, who has played like 5 games. No, probably played more than that. But I think that's just Chris Sims doing his thing. It's weird because a lot of people respect Chris Sims, when I talk about national people or people who know him. But it is really hard to think he's not trolling Philadelphians when he does that.
I think he is. He puts under Malik Willis. Willis has superstar talent and the opportunity to be a full-time starter with the Miami Dolphins. Okay, like that, and that's fine.
Okay, yeah,
that's great. But you're going into this season ranking him ahead of Jalen Hurts, which is just nuts to me.
He doesn't have Sean Mannion now. Also, we got to remember that.
Oh,
that's a tough thing for Malik Willis.
Right? Can he recover from not having Sean Mannion as his quarterback coach in Green Bay? So. We were talking about this earlier because Andrew Salciunas in the morning was saying something close to this, which was that Jalen Hurts and the passing offense is a question mark going into the season. Do you think that's fair to have questions? Do you have questions? Do you have question marks about Jalen?
How could it not be a question when for the last 2 years it's been a bottom 5 pass offense, and now you've taken A.J. Brown away from it, and now you've added a coordinator who has never been a coordinator, never called plays, only been in the NFL for 2 years. You've redesigned your passing game. Listen, I think we can be optimistic. We can say this team is long overdue to have this kind of ripping up of the playbook and the play designs and adding something new. And we could all say, hey, because of that, it should probably be more successful, but we can't sit here and guarantee that. I mean, there's too many changes, too many subtractions. I don't think you could argue the additions pound for pound are better than the subtractions, but certainly there's room for the offense to make it all work better. But yeah, there's got to be question marks. How could there not be?
Something you said to us last week has been in my brain since we talked about it, which was the idea
scary, right?
that I know it's been a wild week for me. That the idea that 150 targets for Devontae Smith is a sign that this offense wasn't what it was supposed to be. That target share is going to be spread around. When you look at the non-Devontae Smith guys in this wide receiver room, which I'm sure Sirianni is already waxing poetic on how much he loves that room and how great everybody in that room is. When you look at the non-Devontae Smith guys in that room, which one do you see as the one to step up to be the 2? And what should we expect from that room outside of Smith?
So the second most targeted player, conceivably and theoretically, it's a great question. I mean, it should be Mekhi Lemon as a first-round pick, but I think that, what we saw from Dallas Goedert last year was a guy who caught 11 touchdowns, was used creatively in the red zone. Kind of surprising what he was able to produce, considering he was kind of coming back on the 1-year deal. Blocking fell off a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I really do think that they're looking to see who that number 2 is. It going to be Goddard? Is it going to be Lemon? I think Dontavian Wicks will have more opportunities here than he had in Green Bay, but I'd kind of be surprised if he was the second most targeted player in the offense. So I do expect it to be spread around a little more. Obviously, when you draft a guy in the first round like Mekhi Lemon with the skills that he has, you should play enough 11 personnel where he should see some targets, but he is a rookie and he's got to show what he's got.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like after they drafted him, I was like, oh, I love this draft pick. This is great. He's going to be good right away. Now he's actually got to do it. And everybody loves Lemon, and I'm because I do too. But now they can actually do it. Wicks actually has to be a guy that comes in and is he's just not a guy that's like Wicks. And all those other receivers in Green Bay were kind of like, it was just a bunch of 2s and 3s. Now, you have a number 1 in Devontae Smith who's got to make up for what A.J. Brown doesn't have you. Then you have some guys that are unproven, a bunch of guys that are unproven. So it's a big spot for the wide receivers.
I mean, the good thing is, in a sense, that there's room for these young guys like Lemon and Stowers who, Eli Stowers may not see the field as much as we want because of his blocking is a work in progress, and that's going to be really important in this offense is to be a 2-way tight end. But the coaches aren't dumb. If the guy is this good of an athlete and that good of a pass catcher, they'll stick, a blocking tight end out there and just flex him out and throw him the ball if he's that good. But the only thing is that he hasn't played the position all that long. So right now you're just relying on the athleticism to just shine right through. If you remember Jalen Hunt 2 years ago, yes, by the end of the year, he was playing a lot of snaps and helping them win a Super Bowl. But the first 8 games of the year, he was a special teams player, and he wasn't really part of the rotation. So, I mean, the conversations we have about who the top pass catchers are in week 1 and 2 might be drastically different by the time we get to week 10 and 11, outside of Devontae Smith.
And you're speaking of blocking there. I want to get into the running game a little bit because I saw you wrote on Philly Voice about the fit of Tank Bigsby and what they're trying to do here. Listen, I'm not trying to create any headlines for you. I'm just posing the question.
That was already done.
Listen, I'm posing the question. What exactly are you looking at this running game, and what do you like about Bigsby's role, whether it be he, and obviously we know what Saquon Barkley is.
Yeah, that story got. I was joking with you because somebody aggregated one quote in it or one sentence and turned it into me saying.
When I think of hot take artists, Jeff, I think of Jeff Mosher. All right, Saquon should be out. Tank Bigsby should be in. Clip it.
Exactly. No, Tank Bigsby. He was drafted into the Jaguars, and so he was before he came to the Eagles. He was in Liam Cohen's scheme last year, which is more of what their running scheme is, a lot like what Sean Mannion will bring here. Wide zone, things like that. And Tank Bigsby is a quintessential one-cut runner, get downhill fast. And by the way, Saquon Barkley, what I'm about to say, he said this himself in his last press conference about trying to learn how to run wide zone from under center. Because when you're a running back like Barkley or any running back, you get the ball from the quarterback who's under center and your line is blocking horizontally, you have to then, as a running back, angle your body with the blocking and then be able to see the bubble, if there is one, right, in a wide zone from a defensive tackle or a defensive lineman maybe trying to jump into the backfield, which is a different style of running. The Eagles have mostly run inside zone. And you've seen Saquon either hit it up the hole and go. But what Saquon's really known for is if the hole is almost like making his own holes, right? You guys have seen him sometimes plant the left foot, then the right foot. Sometimes his feet are like wide apart. And then he does this weird thing like hitting the B on the old Madden joystick or PlayStation joystick where it makes the guy spin or shuffle. Like that's what Saquon does. He spins, he shuffles, he hurdles a guy, right? That's using both of his legs. It's not necessarily one cut and go. But when you run the wide zone, right, you take the ball, you're moving horizontally, you see that one path, and you cut off one leg and go. And that's really not what Saquon Barkley has done. He hasn't been in that kind of an offense throughout Penn State or even in his NFL career. So Bigsby has, and that's more of his style. So, no, I'm not saying Bigsby is a better runner. I'm not saying he should get the ball more. I'm not even saying Saquon won't eventually pick up on this and do a really good job. I'm just saying Bigsby has more of a scheme knowledge and fit for this, for the wide zone than Saquon. And Saquon admitted himself he'll have to learn to be a one-cut runner and not a two-cut or a freestyle runner.
This sounds like a Chip Kelly conversation. Remember, Shady couldn't do the one cut and go. He messed around too much in the backfield. Chip didn't like it. They went and got DeMarco Murray because, hey, man, he just put his foot on the ground and went. That DeMarco Murray sure did.
Right. I will tell you right now, I think Saquon's good enough to figure it out and athletic enough to do just fine. I'm just saying Bigsby, that style of run is what he's known for.
And they should use him more. They shouldn't forget about him. There's no reason why Bigsby shouldn't get a couple carries a game. One more on Barkley.
Great point. Real quick, John. Great point, because last year, Bijan Robinson, he had like almost 2,500 combined yards. He had an unbelievable year, and I looked at his backup Algiers carries per game or touches per game, and it was around 8.
Yep.
8 touches per game. Last year, Bigsby, as an Eagle, got about 4. So there's no reason like Saquon can't have an amazing year and Bigsby still get like twice as many touches or carries.
All right, next year for Saquon. All right, this year for Saquon. So he ran for 2,005 yards in 2024. Last year, 1,140 yards. This year, is he closer to the 2,000 or closer to the 1,140?
Oh man, I'd have to know. I need context. I need to know about Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens and the health of the O-line. And, I need to know how the offense they're taking to it and how Saquon himself is taken to the scheme. I think last year was so rare that I would expect the offensive line to be a little healthier. So I think Saquon will be a little better. I don't know if he'll be like 2024 because I also think that was Saquon in 2024, his second half rushing was top 5 in the NFL, which means if you just took his second half stats, they would have qualified for top 5 in the NFL that year. That's a little bit freaky as well. So something in between, John, right? Can I give you 1,300 yards and like 9 rushing touchdowns? And
Yeah, that's
maybe 1,600 total yards from scrimmage and 11 total touchdowns.
That's what I'm expecting. Yeah, I don't think he's getting 15. I don't think he's getting 15 or 1,600 at this point. But if he can get 1,300 with maybe a few less carries, and he's getting 4.5 yards a carry, he compiled some yards in a couple of games where he had big. I think that Giants game he had a big total, but it was a struggle, and that was off like you had said. What does Landon Dickerson look like this year? What is Cam Jurgens? Is Mailata walking around on one foot? The health of the offensive line is probably one of the biggest things we can talk about as far as the season.
I would say it's the biggest thing, honestly, because as much as we want to say the quarterback, the new offense, the running game, all that stuff, it doesn't matter if the offensive line isn't good. I mean, everything. It's like the heart, or cutting the head off of something, right? That's where it all begins.
Yep, it does. You're the best, Jeff. Check out. I was just on Inside the Birds. Great stuff up there. Make sure you check out all the written stuff, the podcasts as well. It's awesome, right?
Hey, Chris Sims has got Malik Willis ahead of Jalen Hurts, and Jeff Mosher's got Tank Bigsby ahead of Saquon Barkley. You got to get your takes in where you got your takes, right, Jeff?
It must be June, fellas.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Jeff.
Just 5 more weeks of this. See ya.
That's it. There he is. I mean, to his point, they put out content where they don't have to do the list. I like the list.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like Chris Sims' list.
No.
Because I don't take him seriously.
Right.
But I love when Jeremy Fowler rolls out the list. There's a different positional group every day that he puts out there.
And he's already committed. He's coming on this program to talk about the list.
You're very smart. You made sure you booked him.
Hey, said, listen, we're not going to – I gave him a promise. Said, you did a lot for us during the A.J. Brown saga. Take a month. Be with your family. Do something aside from show up on Middays with Marks. Just show up when your list is on there.
Speaking about, we were talking about Chris Sims. Wasn't I shouted out on the show with Chris Sims?
Yeah, he wasn't on that day.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he didn't get
Michael
a chance.
Holly?
I don't know who was on with him, actually. But we do have, I think we have the audio of.
Because I check it out. I check out Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk Live. It's on Peacock, and you can catch it on streaming services and things like that. So I will definitely check it out. But apparently I got shouted out.
You did.
Do you know about it, Robin? Did you have it?
I do.
Oh, well, here it is.
I was semi-unplugged last Thursday and Friday for my niece's wedding. And John Marks, a radio host in Philly at 97.5, I believe, reached out to me and said, hey, have you seen this thing where all of these accounts on Twitter and all these media outlets are claiming that A.J. Brown told Maria Taylor in their interview from last week that he deliberately leaked stories to the media during his time with the Eagles in an effort to motivate his teammates. They're claiming that he said he leaked stories, and he never said he leaked stories.
All right, so Mike did a big post that he wrote on Sunday, perhaps. But, yeah, so I'm like, Ray and I are going out of our minds.
Yep.
Sean's kind of like, well, why didn't he, clarify it? I'm like, clarify what? He never said he leaked. He never used the word leak. So Sean was kind of like, because I don't know, I mean, I can't blame AJ for anything he said during that thing as far as leaking to the media. But maybe people got confused because even though he didn't actually say the word leaked, people were saying, yeah, but what he was saying was that he leaked stories to the media, which he clearly never said.
Right. I got in one Twitter back and forth about this, and I decided it was Friday and I was going to go about my weekend, and I wasn't reading any of the mentions, any of the replies to us on Instagram or anything about this. If I were one of A.J. Brown's teammates, I would not have appreciated the manner in which he went about his business. I prefer the in-house method, okay, if I was in that position. However, it was not a conversation about his methods in the sense of going directly to the media. It was a question of whether or not he was leaking things and whether or not he admitted to Maria Taylor that he leaked things to the media. He didn't. Just listen to the freaking clip.
And I don't believe he leaked anything to the media. He was saying things where he wanted to say it.
And now people are all bent out of shape over the story on ESPN today about that part of the reason he wanted to be traded was because the angst he had about Hurts throwing into tight windows in his own. And people are like, well, see, that's him leaking stuff to ESPN. I think if you spend 2 minutes around A.J. Brown, and I can't say that I have, but But I think if you spend 2 minutes around A.J. Brown after one of those games, I don't know if he needed to say, hey,
Right.
hey,
I mean,
Timmy Mack, hey, T-Mac, come over here real quick. By the way, I'm a little bothered by the way he's throwing into the zone. You didn't hear that from me. I think it was very evident to everyone that was around that team that I don't know if A.J. Brown had to be the one to leak it. I think if you talk to anyone in that building, they would tell you he was a little annoyed with it.
Yeah, I thought it was just common knowledge that that was the problem.
Right.
And I'm sure the Eagles were very aware of it. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the piece, and it was just like, all right, they talked about the A.J. Brown trade.
Right.
And it was like, what?
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. We know he's unhappy. That's why he's gone. There's no breaking news. But I sent the email to Florio because I didn't know where else to turn, Ray.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that people are actually falling for it, and that the Dove Kleeman account that isn't run by it's literally like a business that bought it.
Correct. Dove is gone.
Dove's gone.
Dove's long gone.
Whoever Dove was, and Dove was actually a person at one point.
Correct.
They bought the account, and they just do the same thing. And that's what they do. They literally just make stuff up. So I turned to Florio, and I thank him for the shout-out because I was just like, dude, you seeing this? They're just making stuff up.
Right. We need someone to help us here.
Mike Florio.
Nobody watches the video.
No.
That's the most evident thing about social media. You react without, you read a headline, you read the tweet, you quote tweet it, you don't bother to watch the video. If we put out a video of me saying, I love Philadelphia and I love all the people in it, and we captioned it, Jalen Hurts is on the hot seat, I would be torched because no one would listen to the actual video. They would just say, oh, look at that headline. He's an idiot.
All right, coming up, it's already being talked about, the NFL trade deadline. Hang on, what? We're in the second week of June. But one player that is going to be on the radar of every Eagles fan is already being talked about at the trade deadline. We have that, and then the Brendan Sorsby situation where he's going to play football this year. We'll update you on that as well. Middays with Marks, 97.5. I wish my mom a happy birthday earlier. Happy birthday, Mom. But I did know, and I forgot, it is also Bill Colarulo's birthday, because he had said it yesterday. Happy birthday, Bill.
Happy birthday, Billy.
But it's also our producer Sean Rodman's birthday, and we didn't know until minutes ago. Sean,
this is true.
I respect you, because I never announce it's my birthday either.
Yeah, I'm not someone that's going to just announce that it's my birthday to the world like Bill Colarulo. It's
And he
it's
did.
okay.
He did come in here yesterday, and he said, "Yeah, tomorrow's my birthday." So he did announce it.
Yeah, I came up short as a friend here. This is on me. Rodman and I had this conversation last week about him having the same birthday as Colarulo. And when I went out there and saw that they're making a big deal for Bill, as Bill wants, I noticed that, oh, man, if it's Bill's birthday, you know what that means? I've spent 3.5 hours on the air with someone whose birthday it is, and we've yet to wish him a happy birthday. So I'm Donovan chest pad on that one. That's my bad. I'll wear that one. I got to be better. Look to be better. As someone that tries to pride himself on being a vibes guy around here and tries to, really cultivate a culture around here, I failed.
You're a culture guy.
I failed today.
Now you just forgot. It's not your fault. So someone in operations needs to have, and you can give it to me. I need everybody's birthday.
Yeah.
Everybody that works here in programming, I want your birthday. Give me your birthday, and then I'll make sure that me, for your birthday.
Yeah,
for
no, you
Sean's
did a great
birthday,
job. I was shocked.
No, you should at least get even if it's a cupcake. Get a cut so we can sing to you. You like cupcakes there, Rodman?
Sure. I mean, I don't really eat too many desserts
smaller.
anymore, though.
You don't eat desserts? You don't want to be a furry?
Allergy reasons, more so.
Oh, really?
Oh. Yeah, dairy. Don't eat any dairy.
Oh, no. Well, there's vegan cupcakes.
Oh, yeah, no, they're pretty good, some of them.
Yeah.
I've had a couple.
I've had them. How old are you?
28.
Oh.
Yeah.
Getting old.
He's getting up
old.
there.
2 years, close to 30. Getting closer.
I'm swole. I remember Rodman's 21st.
Oh, boy. Look at you guys growing up right before our eyes. Oh, my goodness. Well, happy birthday. What are you doing for your birthday?
Going to dinner tonight with my girlfriend.
Nice.
Out in Doylestown.
All right.
Ooh, where?
Genevieve's Kitchen, I believe it's called. Never. This is my first time going.
I need a full review.
I'll let you know tomorrow.
Stop by Villa Capri afterwards. Get a nice little beer.
Might have to. There'll probably be a second stop.
Vodka pizza there is great.
Is it good?
Yeah, we've done a couple of events up there with, I think it was Michelob events that were up there. That was great. Friends live up there now. And Rodman.
I love Doylestown. Doylestown's great.
Yeah.
All right, so Thursday's show will be at Parks Casino, because Chickens and Pete's is in Parks Casino.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be at the Bet Parks Sportsbook inside Parks Casino because it's the start of the World Cup.
That's right.
So we'll be there on Thursday, 10 a to 2 p. So stop out if you're up in the area. Say hello. Place a couple bets in the book. So the player I was talking about earlier, who do you think it is? I already read this morning, ESPN.com had a post up, and it was already talking about trade deadline acquisitions. And this player, you're going to hear about this nonstop until the trade deadline comes and goes. And I'm telling you it's viable. I'm telling you that would it be a possibility? It could be.
Max Crosby?
Correct!
Woo! What do I win?
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Okay.
Max Crosby is what you win.
Oh, okay. You think it's viable?
Here's why I do. Don't they need and I know they made the trade.
Right. They got Bernard now.
Yeah, and they have Hunt. But do they have enough? They have Nolan Smith. Is it enough? I mean, it may be.
It might be. I don't know. It depends how Grenard fits in with Vic Fangio's defense. They gave him a lot of money, though, so I think they anticipate that. I understand. I get it. So what's the deal here? What do they deal out? What's the trade to get Crosby that makes this one viable? Pick?
You have an extra first-round pick now.
Yeah, you have an extra first-round pick.
So you could go first and second or first and third. I mean, it seems like a lot for a guy that's up there a little bit in age.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the expectation if you were to trade for him? He's a Pro Bowl player for how many years? 3? Like Myles Garrett, you're looking for 3 elite, 5 total, where he's one of the best defensive ends in football. Myles Garrett can still get double-digit sacks in his mid-30s.
Yeah.
No problem. With Crosby, I mean, can he be a Pro Bowler for 3 years? If he can, and you're going to need to pay him big-time money, is it worth the first? If A.J. Brown's worth the first and a fifth, what's Max Crosby worth?
First and a third at least.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not interested in what's going to happen. You know, do I think that there's a chance that this could happen? Sure. Would I put it past Howie Roseman to reach out
there
and
it
try
is.
and talk about it? Of course not.
You never know with Howie.
You never know. Hey, you know?
I don't know.
I don't know. Would I be interested in it? Sure. Do I know if I'll be around when that happens? I don't. But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course you're interested in what happens with Max Crosby, and I wouldn't put it past the Eagles to be a part of it, to be sniffing around for it. Do you concerned by the physical at all?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be the one thing for me that does that scare him off? Is that why you make a deal for a Grenard? Because they had to know Max Crosby would still be available, right? Like, would you go into they felt comfortable going into last season with these guys as their edge rushers. They decided to go get Grenard and make that jump in, take that leap into the pool now instead of waiting to the trade deadline. Is that something? Does that signify the way they feel about this?
They would. Here's where Crosby becomes real. If they're struggling at pass rush, if Grenard does it good. Last year he was banged up. 2 previous years before that he had double-digit sacks. So if he looks like, okay, that's your true number 1 edge rusher, no, then they're not interested. But if Nolan Smith's banged up, and if Brandon Graham is getting too many snaps, and
Thank you, 97.
So is that a suggestion that we're going to see Brandon Graham? He's just
yes,
waiting out this offseason?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, he'll be on the team.
Okay.
That's my belief. But, I mean, weren't they just in on Myles Garrett? Right?
Yeah.
Weren't they just trying to trade for Myles Garrett? Was that with Grenard? Was that before Grenard? Was that after Grenard?
But I think in that package, if I remember correctly from what I think it was Ryan Fowler from NBC Sports Philadelphia had out there, that they were trying to throw like Nolan Smith or a Jalix
Hunt. And they were like, huh?
Yeah, he's not Jared Verse.
Right. But it shows you he was in on Parsons the year before.
Yep.
Howie Rosen is willing to give up real value for players and positions that he believes is that's what you do it for.
Yep.
Quarterback, defensive end, offensive tackle, wide receiver now has become one of those positions. So yeah, if the pass rush is lagging, and Crosby, he's going to be calling, trying to see what it's going to take to pry him away from the Raiders.
I don't think it's unrealistic.
No, we just don't know where they're going to be.
Right.
If edge rusher is a problem, then yes.
I just can't imagine you add him to that room of the 3 of them. I don't think all 3 of them coexist together.
All right, we'll come back. We have the YouTube chat recap and the Sorsby stuff and an update apparently from Herb from Northeast Philly.
Herb?
I 97.5 The Fanatic, Middays the Barks. Stay tuned. It's coming up.
Andrew Sal.
Birthday.
Yeah.
The 1-year celebration. Where were you for the first show of Ricky Batalico and Bill Calarulo?
Right here.
You're here.
Legitimately right here.
On the board?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Just
go.
anticipating it coming up.
I listen. Bill's been my guy for a long time.
Yeah.
I've listened.
He's been around me for a while. You know, he's here.
All right, couple things here. First, I saw Herb's number come up on the screen. We haven't talked to Herb in a long time.
No, we have not talked to him in quite a bit.
He doesn't text me anymore.
Oh.
And I think I blasted him because he was he would call me and text me personally, but then the other station told him he'd be banned if he called the show, so like he wasn't calling the show as much, or he wasn't calling the show, but he was calling me personally.
Right.
It's like, oh, so you're gonna call me, but you're not gonna call the show. Like, make that.
You're not
make
supporting
sense.
me.
Right.
You want my support without your support of me. And
Yes.
that's a one-sided relationship, Johnny Marks.
He wants to call in. He wants to call me and be like, okay, and do the Herb stuff with me.
Okay.
Which I'm fine with. You know, Herb. You know, Herb might be a lonely fella. Has a couple family members or whatever.
We brought him in here and tried to make him a star.
Do we have the podcast open? No, it's not appreciative. Is this what it is?
It's the Herb. However you may listen or wherever you may be, thanks for listening and making us part of your day. This is the Herb with Herb from the Northeast and Negative Nate.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Honestly, like John Kincaid's retiring from the station. Who knows?
Whoa.
You know, Salciunas might be working nights and weekends if the Herb and Negative Nate were doing their podcast. Scott hears it and is like, now this is the sound of something that should be mornings.
Waking up to the sweet sounds of Herb and Negative Nate.
That's unbelievable. All right, well, there you go. So Herb, I guess he's officially going to the Eagles trip to London. So I guess he spoke to Shukri in the back. Shukri's answering phones today. So he talked to Shukri and so to tell the guys I'm going to London. I mean, we haven't talked to Herb in 6 weeks.
And he just, oh, yeah. By the way, I'm going to London, boys.
So you know what this is? This is him trying to get back into the fold.
This is a you up text right now. And I ain't responding. I'm leaving you on red, Herb.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, you know what? You want to ghost me for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I ain't fielding that text.
Now, if Herb showed up on the line,
yeah, maybe.
I would definitely go to him because I would want to talk to him and see what he's been doing.
Yeah, the you up phone call is a different story.
Yeah, but I'm not the texting and the phone calls and stuff. I'm out. I'm not.
Yeah.
No, you're out. You're out.
Just don't show up at my front door.
And Herb but if Herb showed up to Bet Parks on Thursday up to Parks Casino, I would love to see her.
That'd be great. I have no idea if I'll be there.
Right.
I don't know.
I supported Herb when he fell coming out of the porta potty and he hurt himself. Had to go to the hospital. You know that, right?
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, he stepped out of the porta potty because it was like a step down, and he fell.
Oh no!
And he was injured, and like someone found him on the ground later.
That's horrible.
How long was he there for?
A couple days. I don't know.
So bad.
No, but he was legitimately hurt.
Yeah.
And I was there for him, and now look at him.
He's left you.
We start this new venture, Middays with Mark, Sean Brace, Ray Dunn, trying to grow the show, and Herb turns his back on me.
Yeah, he did.
All right, Herb.
I get it.
All right, Herb.
It's tough.
No longer friends. Brendan Sorsby. The reason I even bring this back up again today is what I saw what some unnamed athletic directors said that I read a piece on ESPN.com. So Sorsby was the quarterback that bet on his team, not while he was playing, but while he was on the team. And the bets are he's clearly got a gambling problem. He went to rehab. We're talking about hundreds of bets. $90,000 worth of money or more than that. I forget exactly what it was, but like something serious, right? So like totally, I'm glad you went to rehab. I'm glad that you got help for your gambling addiction. That's great. That doesn't mean you should be able to play college football this year because that's what a judge has ruled that he is. They blocked what the NCAA had done, which is said you're ineligible to play. And a judge has ruled that he can play this year in 2026. Now, the reason he wants to play is that he's being paid $5 million by Texas Tech.
Yeah, that checks out.
It's not just well, I want to play football like the old days, even the wink, wink, here's a Tony Soprano manila envelope. No, this dude's making $5 million on the books, more money than he would make if he played in the NFL right now. So somehow, some judge, and I actually had read Mike Florio wrote about it, he had said that there was little detail and explanation in the judge's ruling other than he's eligible to play. And it's like, okay, like why? So he thinks an appeals court could actually stop it again. But you had athletic directors from the Big 12 and other big conferences that said that there's talk among the athletic directors they're going to boycott games against Texas Tech in all sports because ultimately Texas Tech is the one that's driving this thing. The dude bet on football while he was on the team, and he's not like, what other sport would you not be suspended? Like, forget about it for life for a full season or 2 seasons. He's pretty much going to play right away because Texas Tech, they got money and they actually have become a national program and they don't want to take the step back because they don't have a quarterback. It's unbelievable. And I'm glad the athletic directors are doing this because they can't let this happen.
Somebody has to stop this train at some point. You know, like you can't just let everything go off the rails. And if this is where we're going to take the principal stand, we're pretty far down the road at this point. All right, we've gone pretty far past the point of insanity with the NCAA and the fear of lawsuits and everything. So hey, here's the point to kind of step the line here and say, yeah, all right, I get it. But the idea, and this is what kind of drives me nuts, is right now in the NCAA, if you want to violate a rule, all you have to do is find a judge that's going to file an injunction, and you're good. You're good. Just violate whatever you want because
find a fan of your team, and then you're probably going to be playing.
Right, exactly. I saw someone tweeting jokingly that LSU should have Burrow, Jefferson, and Chase on their bye weeks try to come play for them and just find a Louisiana judge to say, no, they're cool. Trust me. Like, it's obviously not that simple, but really this is the ADs need to take the stand here because where else would he be allowed to play after 2 games? And I'm sure those 2 games are against real power teams.
Right.
Sure, it's
early season where you're playing the buckets.
Yeah. Northwest Texas Christian Academy. And
he can't play. He cannot play this year. And I don't I'm not this guy needs to be suspended or this guy needs to be fired. I'm definitely not that guy. It doesn't him being fined. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care about that. Man, you can't set a precedent where this kid is betting on if he bet against his team, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Right. If he bet for his team while he was playing, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. The only difference is that he wasn't playing in the games. He's still betting for his team. He still has inside information.
Right.
You can't do this.
There's so many rules also by people that work within college institutions, they have to follow and they can't actually, do these things. To allow him to do this is ripping up the rule book for pretty much everyone across the NCAA.
It's just crazy. Only the NCAA could something like this happen.
Yeah.
Because no other sport would actually let this happen.
No, they're too afraid.
All right, let's get to the YouTube chat recap. What do we got?
It's time for the YouTube chat recap.
How about filling us in? Let me tell you something else, man.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie. Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
Hit me.
From Splash Reaper, Marks kind of looks like a knockoff Guy Fieri.
All right. As I get more gray in the...
I think it's a compliment.
Yeah, I like Fieri.
Isn't he's going through some backlash though around social media because when in the shows when he goes to pick up the food to his mouth, he's been caught. It only goes to his chin and he doesn't actually eat the food.
Really?
Yeah, I saw this over the weekend.
Yeah, Guy Fieri blasted over accusations he doesn't swallow food on his show.
What, he spits it out? I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched that show in probably a decade, but when I watched any of those food shows with him, he always seemed like he was eating it. You can say that he was embellishing or he couldn't have possibly loved all the food, but he's a performer.
Yeah.
He's supposed to.
It's a show.
Yeah.
An entertainer.
Correct.
That's a lot of food to eat, by the way.
A lot of food.
Leave him alone.
All right, let me take a look at feet. Yeah, listen, I don't think I look like Guy Fieri, but, I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't think you look like him either, but it's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. It's the spiky hair. All right, what's next?
From F. Bayless, Ray's favorite shirt is finally back from its busy schedule of being worn as an oversized pajama top by half the city's female population.
It does look like what my wife wears to bed. Just not the actual. It says National. Let me see it. National Basketball
Association. Yeah.
Kind of a throwback look to it.
Yeah, it's got some old logos on the back.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. I like the back of it.
Yeah, it's not a bad shirt, but it's like $15 at Target.
Well,
so
it's boxy cotton.
Yes.
It's not the. I need the polyester mix. I go like 60-40 poly cotton.
I'll get like a dozen wears out of this, and it'll be gone.
Oh, so that is actually new?
It's new-ish. It's new in the sense I haven't worn it a ton.
Can I buy you a steamer for Christmas?
I have a steamer. No, I have a steamer.
Well, use it.
Yeah, no.
You're on camera today. Your right sleeve is it looks like that was under your bed and you grabbed it and wore it in.
It was shoved in a drawer. I grabbed it and brought it in, yeah.
Like, look at the worm Sean Rodman. He knew he was going to be on camera today.
Yeah. Come on, you got to
Well, he's got big birthday dinner with the girlfriend.
But he's not a wrinkled shirt guy, though.
Yeah, but I'm not going to wear this to dinner. That's also something I grew up. Dad was in business. Everything was ironed.
Oh, okay. So I use a steamer. I have a steamer.
Yeah, I got a steamer now. I actually brought the steamer out to San Diego. They were making fun of me because I was steaming everything.
But it's easy to pack.
Yeah, it's easy to pack. As long as you don't have water in it, you can bring it through security. You don't even have to check a bag with it.
Steamer's a good item.
It's a great item.
All right, what's next?
From Andrew, Rays NBA, numerous baddies around.
I don't even know.
All right, what's next?
From Money Mar, Rodman got scammed in Thailand. Lessons were learned that day. And for the record, Kim is a universal name.
Huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would move past that one.
All right, what's next?
Narco Nate rings a bell, but perhaps something not negative.
They were trying to find a new nickname for Nate.
I think negative still.
Negative Nate's good.
Yeah.
Narco Nate, I could see. He looks like a potential narc.
Niche Sports Nate was too much.
All right, we got to bring it down because coming up next, the 1-year anniversary special of Unfiltered with Ricky and Bill and Silvana. And I'm told that, is this correct? Andy Reid's going to join the program? Nick Sirianni? Are you kidding me? Is that Lombardi from the grave? No, that's not. None of that is true. But it is the 1-year special, and I'm looking forward to it on the way home. I'm sorry. Well, I'm just saying, like a big 1-year anniversary. I don't know what you have planned for the show. All right, we're late. Coming up next, guys are coming up. Rodman, thank you. Talk to you later. See you.